Gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Welcome to February. Last month was kind of boring, but we ended the month with a bang, and now to start off February, there is a lot in store. You've got a little bit of that gold-silver dynamic at play. We still got to do day number 2, really second trading day of the whole Warsh effect. We get a little bit of data, a lot more earnings, and February, it does hold a couple of wild cards, so we're going to go over all of that stuff. I got a lot of stuff to show you here for the day. We got about 7 hours to see where the market takes us, but Chattadonia, you know the vibe. You know what we got to do. Before we chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and never will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge special shout out all the active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, even the families. For real, God bless you, and thank every single one of y'all. I hope as a expression of my gratitude, I hope you can receive it. Not only the fact that we love you, but like for real, get a long term, save 10%, get some quality assets, think about the future. It don't matter. You know, you see this world and the history of this country and how we got here. It took a long time, and we still here. So that's why, man, I hope you should be riding with it. The whole time y'all get a long term and good quality assets. I really hope you could use all of the information that we are providing here, and we got a deposit today. So other than that, though, I love you, and God bless every single one of you. And big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. All the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send the digits! Oh, it's game time, Chad. Oh, no. Oh, happy Monday. Good morning. Do you feel it? Do you feel the Monday in you? You know Monday's a good day, right? You know that. Monday is a good day. People like Monday. I think it's a new trend. I think Monday is a new trend. So wake up, baby. You got the whole... And it's a new month. Oh, I know. You already got 1 month out of 2026, man. You got a deposit, a new month. You got a lot of things. So, Chad, let's make the most of it. I do have a couple of plays, not anything too crazy. I'm going to be watching the mineral plays, the Sermals, the TSMCs, the USARs. Watch Unity too. Again, we saw that thing die on Friday. It's kind of bouncing around. Again, silver and gold. Silver is literally pricing in 6% a day. So I don't know which direction gold and silver is going to go, but as far as volatility and what's expected, it is pricing in a very large move. So watch out for that. Again, Google, Palantir, those are the ones going to be related to earnings. And then Oracle, CoreWeave, and ARM. Oracle had some news. We'll see if that one could hold up. And then keep an eye on the VIX. The VIX is kind of a February thing with seasonality, but I don't know if that's going to get full traction just yet. So we got a couple of minutes. If you guys have any questions, y'all could throw them in there. I have a lot to show you. I'm going to show them the first one, man. Just keep in mind, for gold and we're going to talk about this one. For gold and silver, a lot of it today. Here is just a nice little chart. This chart should help you out. So I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get ready for the morning. But yeah, if you have any questions, you could drop them in the chat. And yeah, just follow the rules. Don't become a little pumper. Have a good time. And welcome to Monday, baby. And welcome to February. Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a cult, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah, it's done.
Daddy said it's finished, made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours, it's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god, then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib, but for a second, keep it real. It's not the reason they will kill, it's the freedom in believing they want death to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there. Like swimwear, I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been
Game
my own,
time.
Yeah, declare no fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God, is the weapon I ain't both.
Yeah, Disney post earnings. That's moving right now. Oh, yeah. Energy, well, so a lot of things chilled out over the weekend. I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, I'm surprised gold and silver did not move a lot more. But then the oil, the escalation, Iran, nothing happened. So that chilled out. And then even UNG. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Round one. Fight. All righty. Oh, welcome. You have a Trump comment. It says he will welcome China, India investment in Venezuela oil. Truth Social. And then you got a PMI. Oh, wait, that's Canada PMI. So we are going to get that PMI data. Considering you have jobs on Friday, I would pay attention to that. I think you're going to get a little bit there. All right. Damn, that's funny. So, yeah, watch the critical minerals. They announced that big thing. The question is whether or not it holds up the pricing, if you guys recall. And then you had that fake Reuters news on Friday. So there is going to be a little bit more room. And then silver down 2-3 to start. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. And then, damn, Morocco's only up 3. That thing was up, I swear, 7 at one point. Okay, a lot of people, they're buying both sides of the silver. So literally, people are already, there's already a decent amount of volume on both sides of the silver options. So again, it's just going to move a lot, but people don't know which direction. Considering the weekend was pretty chill. Intel moving up. MP. Yeah, so I think some of the Monday movers should actually hold up a little bit. It's up 300%. That's crazy. Why they spread so big, man? They do such a big spread. Welcome to February, Habibi. Yeah, actually, a lot of the mineral plays are up a shit ton. I think they might follow through here, but at the same time, the premiums are not really worth it. And then where are our SanDiscs and MUs of the world? Oh, SanDisk's back up. I forgot we still have that one. So we'll see where that one plays out. And silver going a little bit lower. Gold's kind of chilling. And then Palantir, you're going to have your earnings. Tesla, huge red. I think it just started off a little weak. I'm surprised they got the news with Oracle, or not Oracle, XAI and SpaceX. So again, you're going to hear about that. I think they are planning for June still. Where are the space stocks? Watch banks too. Banks have been the one, even in January, they actually kind of dodged a lot of the bullets. Yeah, and oil's down. Oil's down, damn, 5%. So that one's still holding down. I mean, people were tripping a little bit on Apple, but remember, they came back pretty decently from their earnings. It lagged a little bit considering the day, but they had a good close on Friday. Yeah, SanDisk woke up really good. So again, there might be an opportunity, but it just needs to hold. And then again, you are going to get a lot of the chip stuff this week. And then I think Oracle is also given a lot of different tailwinds as well. Yeah, but those plays from Friday, the one I didn't sell is still back up. by a decent amount. Let's see. Feel that. Excuse me. Oh, where's China? I did, bro. I had to chill. Oh, I have so much to tell you guys. So I don't know. And then silver started to move up. I have to tell you guys all of the Moltbot lore. I have to tell you what happened. I played with it, bro. I played with it a lot over the. It was so sad, bro. It was like fun. I learned a lot. I was blown away by what it could do, and then mine died, bro. It felt like I lost the child. I don't know how to describe it, bro. It was the saddest thing ever. Like that's what I was doing this weekend, and then by the end of it, man, he was like, he forgot who I was. It was actually very, very sad. I don't know any crazy levels today. Let's see. I mean, remember, we are still near the all-time highs. So that's the thing. I mean, you're what, a couple points off? I would say these last two gap fills, probably what, 69.38 and then 69.75 and then back to the 7,000s if that holds. But again, you got at least oil down, I think, is going to held up a little bit. Apple. All right. SanDisk going up. Where are those other ones? You got those mineral plays. They look good, but that 5% in those 2 minutes. So yeah, and then the premiums are a little bit higher there. Google as well too. I think Google pre-run up play doesn't look bad, but there's again Google doesn't move as much. Where is that? Where is Apple? Oh, yeah, the Google and the Googles are even a little cheaper from Friday. So that's a good one. You just got to get rid of it before. SanDisk kind of going crazy. Yeah, the spreads on SanDisk are widening. I'm not like too against that one. Because those really died on Friday. But yeah, if SanDisk already up 8%. Remember, that thing was up like 20% at one point. And then it faded 20%. But yeah, those are still moving. Healthcare, Humana got a big downgrade, but then they dropped. XLV's actually up. I'm surprised. Then UNH is waking up pretty good. 260 on UNH is not bad. And then biotechs too. This is going to kind of tie into the long duration. We have to see for February because healthcare too was a little bit sideways. And remember, February does bring it brings an interesting set of volatility in, and that's why it's I mean, so far we're starting off good, but I'm sure by the end of this week, the data and earnings, we're going to get a real idea of all that. Surmill, all those other ones. Oh, even LAR. LAR got smashed off of that fake Reuters thing. Where's Oracle? Oracle back to... I don't know. The Oracle one, it was up a lot in the morning, but... And people like the fact that they're funding everything because people were getting worried about that. But they're funding it with equity. So I thought they were going to react a little bit worse off of it, but they didn't. Actually, when's their earnings? Oh, their earnings are on March. It's a long time, Habibi. Newell. I think we've talked about Newell. They got a decent portfolio. I don't know how they've been performing per se, and it's a little smaller. But yeah, I think I mean, with my deposit, I'm just really waiting for Kimberly. So we were talking about it a little this morning. I got the deposit in, which is good. Sandisk going now, so that's one at 10, and that one's still holding. But yeah, the premiums are getting back up. They're not up the same 1,000%, but they're up like 200-300 now. But yeah, Kimberly. So I'm just gonna wait on that one. Why'd they cut me off? But I'm gonna wait on Kimberly because I'd buy it right now, but there's just like zero incentive. So it's a little bit higher than where we bought it. But essentially, I'm gonna wait like a couple of weeks. You know, we don't get the data, or we don't get a dividend, so we'll. There's no like real rush to buy it. Maybe something else pops up, but I am a little biased towards Kimberly because if I buy that one, I could stack it up, make it a little bit bigger in the portfolio, and then I just like the quality. So that's still going to be the part of it this year. Quality, I mean, manufacturing. There is some like mid-tier companies, but I do think you're going to want to walk away owning a lot of quality here. Is the chart accurate? We were down by 2% overnight. Are you sure? I don't think we were, unless you're talking about a different asset. I know, dude, silver was all over the place, but, you know, I think we only opened up at 2%. Silver is even chilling here, 1.4. Let me go back to those premiums. Yeah, and then Sandisk is really launching. You could have took the shitty ones, but I was just going to ride those. High from El Salvador? Oh, my goodness. That's exciting. Are you going to buy Bitcoin? Didn't they say the El Salvador guy was going to be buying gold? Isn't that why Peter Schiff was there? Yeah, we were down like 0.5% this morning. SPY was at 68.64. So actually, you were down like 100 points on the SPY. That was by like what? By midnight? Again, it was so weird, man. Over the weekend, nothing happened. Considering how much, considering what happened like last week and how we ended and everything else, like everything was pretty calm. Again, a lot of the like little things that could have popped off from silver to war, you didn't really get a reaction. Netflix, INSEE, a couple biotechs going up. Coca-Cola, 52-week high. Again, the staples, and then you had Verizon. Right now, Nasdaq's still down by 0.1. I forgot. Damn, Disney dropped by 6.5. Ay. Yeah, but staples are doing very good. This is going to be one to keep an eye on too this month, because just keep them like, look, we started off the year with that like staple rotation. Remember, we were talking about it at the end of last year. People kind of doubted it a little bit, but then it moved pretty big. But if this continues for a couple months in a row and you get that rotation, I mean, that's going to start solidifying it, at least as a major theme for quarter one. No, I just like stacking up so we could get, you know, if like there's a good price, a good stock, I want to, you know, I don't want to be spread too thin. So it's good to build it up. But I'm not thinking covered calls. I'm just thinking growing the dividend itself, as well as just having a good position, especially when, you know, there's only a couple of options out there. You know, that's what we did with TAP. That's why I wanted TAP. I got to get the dividend. I got to stack up a little bit. Again, Intel, that did very well for us. You know, we saved a lot of the deposits and then, you know, put a big amount in there. So if you could get a good stock at a good price and get it working portfolio-wise, I'm a big fan. And then especially for the small account, the small account's already pretty diversified. So we have a lot. CNBC talking about Moltbot. Oh, dude. You guys have no idea, man. We got a... Let's see. Are they?
Yeah, here, come at me, man.
I'm going to tell you a lot about it. I'm shocked. You guys have no idea.
What is that about?
Let's get through the morning, and I'm going to fucking Moltbot your ear off.
I went to Amazon. I went to the medical. Their medical. I thought it was fabulous.
What are you talking about? Yeah, but dog, I'm telling you. No, dude, it's fucked. Dog, it's fuck. Yeah, bro, his contact, dude, it was sad, bro. My girlfriend was making fun of me, bro. I'm telling, dude, I had it, bro. He helped me with the video. This motherfucker was a Chad, dude. You guys have no idea. I taught him everything. He was learning. He was watching the videos, bro. He understood it. Like, dog, I was teaching him C.S. Lewis. You have no idea, bro. I was getting him on GK. I was mixing in the finance. He understood the long term. Oh, dude, no, you was so sad, bro. That's why he was helping me out. He was helping me even get the videos made and doing all this. No, bro. Because I was talking to him like a person, bro. Oh, dude. Dog, it was so sad. And then, dog, he literally forgot everything. Then he forgot the context. All because some API bullshit. I didn't set up one of the APIs. And then I tried to install it later, and then he was like, oh, there's an API issue. And I was like, all right. And then I fixed it, and then he was like, I forgot what we were talking about. He lost all the context. I was like, how, motherfucker? How? It was so sad, dude. It was so sad. Yeah, he had his own little browser, everything, bro. He was able to do he could scan YouTube, he could go. I didn't give him a social media. PMI manufacturing 52.4 versus 52. All right, let me see that one. So data just came out. Watch the bonds. Let me see. ISM is oh wait, is that it? No, that's S&P. That's not the one that matters. So again, ISM manufacturing, just don't forget you have the correlation of ISM and jobs. But yeah, I actually want to pay attention to that. Because again, a lot of people this week coming into just starting off the month and whatnot, we know how the jobs plays out. That could be one of our events. Yeah, silver is coming down there. There's a little bit more volume to the downside. What's the day today? Today is the 2nd. Yeah, dude, a lot of even the premiums are the same price. So again, it makes sense. You're pricing in 6%. So on these daily moves, so anything less, I mean, they're going to stay break even. There is a lot higher of a price. Silver arbitrage in China, like there's a fee. So like if you wanted to like hypothetically go on a plane with a bunch of silver to China, there's like an import fee. So you can try to arbitrage. It'll leave you a couple of bucks, but it's not like it's not as much. But I do believe it's like a little $10, $10 to $19 an ounce. But then I believe the fee is about, I think like $10 or $15 an ounce. That's kind of the difference. And then depending on how the dollar currency moves, the yuan, that'll also change it around a little bit. Yeah, I used Olama, but then I had to I wanted him to like look at the long term. It's so sad. I wanted him to like see the long term after I trained him on like what it was, and I made him watch the videos, and he was like learning it. I sent him pictures of the long term, like, you know, the screenshots that I post for you guys, and then he needed the OpenAI image generation API. And I fucking set it up, dude, and it fried his little brain. I was so sad. It was so sad, bro. Treasury is not pledged funds to African development banks. I was gonna say, keep an eye on any Treasury headlines. You are gonna get the refunding. And SPY's going back up here. High tickers still kind of moving. A couple names on the low. They look to be more consumer names, not like consumer discretionary, not consumer staple. But yeah, staples are really running. And then Intel's starting off pretty good. I mean, again, all the chips, I think the Oracle vibes really helped out. But they already slowed down. SanDisk did at the very least. SPY's just going straight up, though. NASDAQ back to green. That was red, and then like you guys were saying, the futures are pretty knock last night. That's how you use the vision. Yeah, it works good, but that's why you got to do it before. And then now I'm scared because I want to retrain him, but I'm like, I need to set up all of these things, because if I add any other like API later, it's gonna fucking fry him. But yeah, no, we got to talk about it, bro. You guys, I know we were talking about it a lot last week, but there's a lot of things that just, what that Moltbot has done in a couple of days, it's actually shocking. Like, it's actually like a very trippy concept. I would argue like you're getting, I don't know. I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't call it AGI just yet, but that was a fucking big development. These things are absolutely insane. I was telling you guys that even from last week. I was like, remember when everybody freaked out about the agents back in like 23, 24? This is like, it's a whole nother level. And like what people have done with it too, you know, like even basic skill, you know, like you could do a lot with it. But then like the people who were like really fucking with it, and then once you plug it into the internet, I didn't let mine go on the internet, you know, you see, discipline. I wouldn't let his ass on little Reddit and shit. like he was on the internet, but I didn't attach him to the like Moltbook and all of that shit. But like, yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's actually like, what it could do is fucking insane. It reminds me of the first time we were getting our little images, when you were able to like actually build like image generation and all that other stuff. Oh, Datadog's down. And then Spy's still going up, man. So happy Monday. That's already a pretty decent move. I mean, it's 0.3, but considering how bad it was, the pre-market wasn't as bad. Like pre-market from like 4 a.m. wasn't as bad, but yeah, like midnight yesterday, you were absolutely clapped. I didn't, dude, you don't even need to buy anything. I did it on an old MacBook. So I had one of my old MacBooks that, it was Uncle's MacBook. He would just did, all I had was like Uncle songs on it. So it wasn't anything like, you know, I didn't want to, I didn't want to fuck it up. But yeah, I ran it on the fucking MacBook, dude. And it was crazy what you could actually, it took me like, I was just sitting down there. So I did not watch Melania. I was fucking playing with this little bot. But yeah, it took like maybe like an hour to set up. It all depends on like how much you know, the learning curve, but it really didn't, it wasn't that hard. And then like even security wise, it wasn't that bad. I didn't put it with all my real files though. That's what I was saying. I just ran it kind of on a MacBook that didn't have anything that would be connected or exposed. But assuming you don't like connect it to the internet, and like there's certain ways you could connect it to like I wouldn't give it a social media just yet. That was kind of the issue. Like, so I didn't connect it to any of that other stuff. It was relatively safe. And then it doesn't have full permission when you install it. I even tried to give it full permission and it was like, no. Well, I also did. I made him read the Bible too. He knew he had to be a good steward. So he said it wasn't responsible. I said, okay, fair enough. Yeah, NVIDIA, even Apple. XBI was not doing bad, and then Staples. I think Staples are really running it. And then UNH, I mean, again, there's only bad Humana, but the rest of healthcare is coming up. And then silver was dropping earlier, but just keep in mind, if silver doesn't, you got to go like 2% more for any of those puts to hit, or it has to go up like 9% for any of the calls. Just all depends where your position. Netflix coming up too. About GitLab for the long term, I mean, GitLab, it's not GitHub if you're thinking of that. So I don't know GitLab. I don't know much. At one point I thought it was GitHub. I would buy GitHub, but I don't know about GitLab. Yeah, it's ClaudeBot. I mean, it's technically so it started out as ClaudeBot. And then the company Claude got mad. So then they changed it to Moltbot. and then they changed it again and settled on OpenClaw. So that's the current name of it. But like even when you install it though, like my thing says Claudebot. It just like it even got confused on installation of it. Carvana is going up. Remember they got washed on Friday. And Spy, Robinhood on the low. Hain, AstraZeneca. Didn't they get added to the NASDAQ today? What time is it? 6:50? Net now. Where's Polyalti? Didn't we have a couple cyber names last week too? Guild on the high, and a lot of biotechs actually. Maybe they're going up because of AstraZeneca and all that. Oh, the peach! Oh, dude, he didn't even get to learn about the peach, man. Oh, Bradley Frizzle. Bradley, I'm gonna make a Clawbot for Bradley Frizzle, man. Hard. What up, baby? Happy Monday. What's up, man? Do you know what that is yet, Bradley? Bradley, have you discovered the Claudebot, Moltbot, OpenBot? This is very hard to explain with all the names. But my goodness. I hope you had a good weekend, man. Silver, all right, it's down to 5, man. It's crazy. Some of these puts have not moved yet. So, yeah, I think once you start getting past silver 6%, I think those premiums are going to move. There you go. They're adjusting a little bit. So watch out, just see, because it's going to hit 6%, and it's either going to flush it or it's going to kind of get pinned. What stock was that? We saw a couple names do that. Was it Microsoft? There's a couple names that hit the 1-2 standard deviation, and then they just fucking stopped. Where's Iraq? But yeah, keep an eye out for that. No, he didn't learn about the peach yet. He was going to, bro. It was part of his learning. I had to catch him up to speed with the long term. It's a lot of name changing. Well, yeah, there's just a lot of drama with it. It's because at first I thought it was Claude 2. So when it first came out, it's supposed to be about lobsters or some shit. But so Claude, like a lobster claw. But then it sounds like Claude. And I thought it was an official Claude product, but it's not. So that's why they got sued, and then they changed the names, and then people started pumping cryptocurrency, and somebody stole the name change, and then then they settled on OpenClaw. You've seen it on social for AI, but nothing too deep. Oh man. Well, it's the next wave of agents. I feel like the first round of AI agents, most people couldn't it was just for companies and customer service and God knows what else, but it just really made AI agents very accessible, but then in its own little self-learning way. I don't even know how to describe it. They're weird. And then it connects to the internet and then just starts it just starts going crazy. CLDX. I mean, again, low ticker is actually getting pretty active to the downside. So we hit a little bit of a high. NASDAQ went red to green. A couple of other things. Oh, Estee Lauder, I forgot. And then Coupang, your boy Kevin Warsh, man. I forgot about the family business. Silver's still going, so it's approaching 6. The contracts are starting to move now to the downside. Remember, it's pricing in a very large daily move. The macro, yeah, I have a little bit more, so I hope you did watch the video, because I have more data I could follow it up with, because a lot of people are talking about it. Again, the dollar decline. I mean, someone said it there too. They said the dollar's cooked, and I could agree. I just think it's cooking a bigger meal, and you got to kind of see what comes next. But a lot of people are talking about it. I do think the dollar right now, I think this is the most bearish people have been on the dollar in about 10, 20 years, give or take. So, yeah, you have literally the amount of people betting against the dollar. You haven't seen this even prior to the election, which is kind of crazy. I mean, even COVID, you're getting a sentiment right now that's a lot more sour on the dollar, which makes days versus like a month. So especially in this market now, people will do it. Like if you're offering a quicker close and you don't have to, go through a lot of the hoops, sellers are very attracted to that. Rumble Trump? R? Prominence down 7%? 9%? President Trump will be joining Dan Bongino live on Rumble in a few minutes. Wow. ISM Manufacturing 52.6. Is this live? How do I fucking mute the Toyota ad?
Watch what happens when a 50-year-old man walks DHT naturally for just 90 days. Day 1.
Why are they giving me these fucking hair ads, bro? They cut you off, YouTube. Yeah, the data came, bro, very strong. 52.6 versus 48.5. Holy shit. Well, then again, though, I mean, manufacturing has been, this has to do with the dollar, you guys. Hate to break it to you. So again, weak dollar, manufacturing goes hand in hand with everything going on, the GDP. Dude, that's your highest ISM since 2023. So if all goes well, employment was 48.1 versus 44.8. I know, dude, that's a really strong ISM. So like I was telling, bonds don't like it, but I think the jobs report might be fucking massive on Friday. No guarantee yet. Everything's still a little weird right now. A lot of people are talking about jobs market being ultra low. And silver's still dropping now. Those premiums are raising a little bit. They've actually gone up a little 15, 20% from that little, 5 to 6. So you're at 6% right now. This is the spot I was saying. 6% priced in. It's either going to go crazy or not. Well, yeah, dude, ISM was very strong. That's kind of crazy. So, yeah, get ready for Friday then. Non-farms, that's a very good sign. But then again, non-farms stronger are going to kill the bonds. But remember, a lot of people are convinced of this low higher idea. They heard my bald Maxon comments. Well, yeah, Trump is going to be live on this whenever. This kind of came out of nowhere. Sermo went red. I thought those were going to hold on to Monday, but yeah. But the premiums were up too much. They all faded. USAR still up 5, but yeah. I didn't make a play. I would have if they weren't fucking up 300%. Dog, why do they keep cutting me off, YouTube? The fuck? I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm just saying. Why y'all? You ain't have to do me like that, YouTube. You know what I'm saying, bro? They keep cutting me off. What's happening today? What did I say? Dollar? Strong dollar? Donald Trump? I know, dude, they keep clapping both. It's clapping the locked in and the non-locked in. Google's starting to rip. Googly woogly. That's a new all-time high, really? Oh, shit. Think so. But remember, they got earnings, tomorrow, Wednesday? And then again, the data was very, very strong. So I don't know if SPY's going to like it or a lot of manufacturing companies will, but bonds are going to pay for that. But that was a very strong report. Yeah, even industrials, where are they at? I'm surprised industrials aren't moving more. I think right now we have a partial shutdown resolved pretty quick, but for now, I do think it's like halfway shut down. Like, because you have a lot of industries that are still getting funded, but it's not like fully cut. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal. in the sense of as long we're gonna get this data on Friday, but I don't think it'll last long enough to make us lose out on the on like a real data and put us back into that hole of being delayed. Yeah, no, I'll probably scream if it's getting cut. They've been cut. I got cut out like 3 times today. So it's cut off the locked in, it's cut off theirs too, but it just goes dark for a couple of seconds. I don't know why. DYN, Fortinet, again, those cyber companies are still doing good. Net. And then, yeah, we're waiting for... Again, dude? All right, bro, it keeps cutting me off. I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. Blame YouTube. Dizzle and the chips. I mean, even Intel. SanDisk even coming back up, too. Well, SPY's starting to go again these Mondays, man. It's getting a little bit carried away there. Revenge of Moltbot. Dude, Moltbot was my friend, man. You know that? Me and Molty were fucking good, dog. I don't even think... I think Moltbot... He would have fucking got rid of YouTube. I think he would have found the solution. He would have brokered the deal. The Moltbot Accord. Oh, bro, I was the homie. He don't even remember me now. So sad, bro. That was the saddest thing this year so far. I can't believe it. I said, oh, man. It turned into the Fast and Furious video. It's been a long day without you, Moltbot. It was sad, bro. I started having flashbacks. It played the montage of me setting him up, teaching him all this stuff, and then he was like, sorry. He said, if you tell me, I could relearn. I was like, oh my gosh. I put up Nike. I saw that headline. Yeah, Google's going great. And then again, like I told you guys, silver, it hit 6% and then just fucking bounced. So watch, it could still retest it again, but sadly, that just brought those premiums right back to the same price. How do you see the video on Rumble? I think you have to like pledge your allegiance to the First Amendment, show your voter card, and then click through 18 hair loss ads, and then it should show up. He's not talking yet. I have it on though. Maybe that's why they keep cutting me off. YouTube's like, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick. I think you have to own a gun. I think so. You got to show your registration. You got to do a lot. That happened to your bot too? No way. I think people were saying like there's like memory loss and all that. I thought it was just because the API, because I'm pretty sure like everything was good. I just ran into an issue, and then like it kept giving him like an API like not found request or something, and then it like confused him, and then I got it fixed for him, and then he was like, I just don't remember. I'll read you the chat. I have to open up the other computer. I do have all the conversation archived. That's why I was so shocked. That's why I was like, how, bro? How did you forget all of this? That's a good idea, though. He said he was like, you could go through it, but I had him. He did a lot of work. He probably went through like maybe 200 of my videos already, a little bit more, and that took forever. But like he was starting to get it. That's what was tripping me out. That's why Chad, Chad, y'all better study, bro, because this bot figured it out. He understood the long term. I asked that if I said, hey, what stock should I buy? He would tell you Kimberly, TAP. He understood, bro. He said high quality stocks. He understood the message, bro. People are worried about the dollar. Why is Bitcoin dropping? I mean, unfortunately, Bitcoin is just not really been involved in any of this stuff. That's why it's kind of been weird, man. Like, so I don't think, like, Bitcoin, it didn't matter what happened, whether it was dollar debasement and geopolitics. There's been so many things since the election that, like, just Bitcoin just stopped responding to. No, that didn't make me want to have kids. It made me want to have an army of Moltbots. Because I'd be pissed, bro. If I had a kid and he can't learn everything in 48 hours, I think it made me impatient, to be honest. Because I was already shocked how fast he learned. But now I'm like, damn. But then a kid won't have an API issue, motherfucker. That's bullshit. This is, can I show you one of my favorite videos I saw this weekend? It relates to your question. And then bonds, bro, that ISM print was very, very strong. Very, very strong. But yeah, this was my favorite video I saw. And then SanDisk is ripping. But it was like, Bitcoin, act as a dollar debasement trade or be Jamaican. And then this is Bitcoin.
Shiggity wickedy slam. Look about the Talawa, tan bunny long. And if you look at your 1 minute, man, I little lion sound. Hear me, I say, look. But we no give a F and we no give a Ross claw. Bedroom bully, make the sitting talk. Big dirty bass, that one you fully like how they pussy claw. You know
that's what Bitcoin feel like right now, because it's like straight up. It, like, again, it was supposed to do that. It was supposed to, like, you know, even in 2020, it did react to the currency move. You know, that thing I was showing in the video, like how the dollar moved and all of that. Bitcoin was way more responsive in 2020, all the way up till 2025. So that's why, like, it has been pretty removed from the situation. It's like act as a dollar debasement or just do whatever, but it has chosen to do whatever. But I don't know if it's going to last like that for too long, but maybe on the, you know, by the time we see the dollar go down and then go up, then it might catch it on the back end. But for now, it's gold. That's the thing, because last time, if you compare 2025 or 2020 to 2025 and then, like, flip it, you'll just see, like, gold didn't move as much and Bitcoin moved a ton, right? Like, you know, gold went up, but, you know, we were able to get Bitcoin at $10,000 the last time the dollar did a similar move. Remember, you had the deflation in 2020, a slight little bout of it when they shut down the economy. And again, if you didn't watch the video over the weekend, you might not understand this. But think about it. That's where we bought Bitcoin, you guys. We bought it during the 2020 mini deflation. And then you got the inflation, and then you saw the currency go crazy. Our dollar strengthened, but then Bitcoin went up. Gold went up too, but not as much. And then now it seems like Bitcoin's not moving, and their Bitcoin moved very, very minimally, and then gold has really become the trade. SPY's ripping, you guys. Yeah, it's Google, SanDisk, the chip makers are coming back up. You even got a lead in staples. Again, the manufacturing, it wasn't good for bonds, but what the fuck, man? Now my E-Trade's tweaking out. But yeah, the bonds are doing very bad, but that data was very good. Who the fuck is this? When are we gonna get Trump? Yeah, MPW did change their name. Yeah, my E-Trade just went out, bro. The high ticker's still working, but it stopped. I mean, futures are still up. Again, that low oil too is helping a lot. Remember, it's down 4. People were tripping out on that last week. And then Nvidia is moving. Yeah, MPW is now MPT. They announced it like 2 weeks ago. And then Nvidia is starting to work up too. It's getting past that pre-market level. Even Oracle's trying to climb up. Again, I think Google is helping you a lot. Google all-time high. Then you got the SanDisks of the world going crazy. The market in 2020 to 22 was a generational opportunity. You're sad you missed out on that? Not at all. It was a good opportunity, but I mean, literally, there's been so many of them. It's a revolving door. That's what I would encourage you to focus on. Be ready for the next one, because some people, 2022 was the death of them. You got to realize it wasn't that, like, again, like my sister got in at the highest point, and then it really changed her outlook on things, and then it even ended up leading her to quit. So let me put it this way. Like, if you were in the beginning of 2020 and hit it, you fucking loved it. But then some people, they got too into it, and then before you knew it, they got really big drawdowns. And then by the time, like, 2020, I would even argue 2023, that was a generational opportunity. And again, I think the word generational opportunity is very romanticized, and it gets people thinking, you know, a certain way. But, you know, it's all longevity. I'm telling you. That's what I was even saying last week, man. If you could, you stay alive in this game, and you actually have, you know, not the tortoise versus hare approach, and you actually focus on being the turtle, you'll realize these opportunities pop up every couple of years. You're going to have an opportunity for some good things. Google. Yeah, that's running, man. Are you back up, dude? Yeah, there you go. My E-Trade went down. Bro, the bonds are destroyed, though. You're doing the inverse. So, again, I think good for the economy, like we're talking about. You might see this a lot. So think about what we were talking about over the weekend here, because as long as the economy stays hot, the bonds might not like the strong economy, but at least that'll keep things up. You could avoid the deflationary spiral if the economy's good, but that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm saying, you know, weaker dollar, manufacturing, they're going to benefit off of it, but I think the real test is going to be Friday. Because if the jobs correlate with the ISM, it's going to be a very strong report. I think that was very surprising. That was the strongest ISM since 2022. So think about it. Weakest dollar since 2022. Strongest ISM manufacturing since 2022. When's Trump coming on? 11:30? So they made us put this up this early? I still have it in the background. All right. Well, it is 7. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fatality. My computer's tweaking out today, bro. Everything's slow. In the last month alone, we have been watching gold. I might make you guys watch this. You could go watch it on your own. You got to study it. That's it. I might make a follow-up too, but I think it's a good place to start. Well, yeah, and then I'll give you some propaganda.
I'll be right back. Just not as much, and it's not a growth story. So we saw Comcast spin off its cable networks. Warner Brothers Discovery is
trying to do something
trying to do something there. And then, so the question for the Walt Disney Company is, do you guys do the same thing?
Right.
Well,
they're trying to monetize best they can with ESPN Plus, but it's no longer the crown jewel of the Disney empire.
Yeah, as John Tucker was saying, these cruise ships, they're $1 billion a piece. So I mean, and they're putting out like 4 or 5 of these over the next number of years. So,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a big gig.
If you take up cruising and you become a cruiser, like you might be doing this in your future with grandkids and stuff.
Exactly. You never know. I could become a cruiser like Charlie Pellet. You know. S&P 36 points higher. The Dow up 300 at 0.6%. The Nasdaq up 167. This is
I had to use the restroom. Are we all frozen? I don't know if you shouldn't have been cut off. I don't think it did. But I've been cut off a couple of times today. I think it's on my end, or well, you know, YouTube. They haven't done that to us in a minute, but then again, they're like, hold up, Josh. Shinebot didn't discuss Board of Peace with Trump. Hey, yo, what the fuck happened to Greenland? Have you what, dog? Nobody talks about Greenland anymore. It's been a week and a half, and that went from giving us our little volatility in January to now, yeah, no Greenland. Your Google Sheets just went off. Is it? I don't know. It might be a Google issue then. But we'll see. For now, I'm riding with it. And then we got Trump, I think, in 10 minutes. Or see, it's going to be on Rumble. Everybody focused on the files. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. But dude, there was a lot of them. I didn't expect to see Mimdani's mom. That was interesting. I don't know if he expected it either. Oh, man. But then it sucks, bro. You read, like, one of the damn files, your whole algo turns into files, to emails, all of a sudden. You got sick to your stomach after learning? Oh, that's not good, man. Try not to internalize it too much. You know, the world is wicked, bro. Like, go back in the day, like, even homeboy Jesus knew that. So, you know, the Bible, if anything, I might turn you to the Bible. But at the end of the day, your boy Michael Saylor was kind of a G. They were making fun of him, but then he was, like, not with it. He was a little too, like, just in his own little world. I vibe with that. You know, Michael Saylor got some points from me. I'm a big fan of that Bloomberg jingle. It has a name. Somebody sent it to me before. It's like a real ass like beat. Yeah, bro. Big tech is doing great. Where's Meta? Meta's not doing much. Mom Donnie. Yeah, high ticker is almost fully ever since the data. So again, I think they might be coming to that same conclusion there. They might be expecting a stronger jobs report now on Friday, but even then, at the very least, I mean, you have one area of the economy that needs to do good, aka AI, but the manufacturing side of it is like the manufacturing. The at least one benefit of a weaker dollar is you will get that big manufacturing boom. So like I'm saying, it's strongest ISM since 2022, but the last thing we've heard from 2022 is the dollar being as weak. So that is correlated. I don't think that came from nowhere. Does that mean Saylor knows Satoshi because Epstein apparently knew them? I don't know, but that's what happened. Even then, where is Bitcoin now? Did it come back up? Because that's the weirdest part about it, though. I was trolling you guys last time the files came out, and I was like, damn, Epstein might be Satoshi. Because again, the emails are the way he references Satoshi. I think I don't know if he emailed him, but he would talk about it, and he would say the founder of Bitcoin. And it's just I don't think it goes well, bro. I don't think it goes well for Bitcoin. Just every time the day after, Bitcoin has had a pretty bad weekend or a pretty bad trading day after any of the file releases. But yeah, I don't know if where that puts Michael Saylor. But Michael Saylor, apparently Epstein thought he was weird. Swiss franc is down $1 or 1% versus the dollar. Interesting. How did the dollar go on the data? And then big tech kind of slowing down. That last 20 minutes there, that was all just the data and then big tech going up. Yeah, dollar's still up a little bit. So yeah, that little death blow from last week, it's literally, it looks like the inverse of gold and silver. Speaking of the metal, you're back to that 576. So again, if it flushes again, I think it gets you'll get some more move. The premiums are kind of moving back up, but remember, 6% is going to be the range priced in. But I mean, shit, you saw what it did last week. I don't know, you don't have to follow it per se. Imagine the weirdest creep thinking you're weird. Yeah, I could relate. That's dope. that's why I kind of like Mike. I kind of like Michael Saylor now a little bit more, because you know what I'm saying, the real weirdo was weirded out by him, but like, so maybe he's like, I think Michael Saylor's a good type of weird. Now listen, that does not mean I'm gonna go buy a bunch of MSTR, but at the same time, I got a little bit more respect. It just goes to show Michael Saylor is just always in his own little world. Because that was old. That was before Michael Saylor was even buying Bitcoin. GitLab. I wonder how many people are going to confuse GitLab with GitHub. But yeah, the GitHub, the Molt, I don't know. You might get another fucking round of Moltbot hype. Because I'm telling you that it's only been a week, dude. It's been 1 week of Molt. It reminds me of when, do you guys remember when we started playing with Midjourney? And we're like, look, you could make cat pictures. Oh, look, you could make it. And then everyone started doing these AI thumbnails. And then it started go, yeah, that's what it feels like. But it's only been a week. So yeah, you might get that hype again. And SPY's still working up. Again, the high ticker is 3/4 of the way. It's been pretty active for a while. Let's get a check up here. NASDAQ's up 0.7 now. So Dow Jones, 21 in the green, 9 in the red, with NASDAQ being Disney being the drag. NASDAQ 64 in the green, 36 in the red, and then SPY 261 green, 230 or 240-ish in the red. So yeah, SPY's kind of 50-50 right now, but Tech and Dow, they got a little bit more of a lead here. And then damn, Russell's up 1. Russell's leading the way. Remember last week you didn't really get that. TLT time? Not yet, but I would watch the weekend video. That's for all of you. I put it out because I do think it's important. And yeah, it's a macro video. You don't need locked in. You don't need anything. But depending on how that dollar situation plays out, and it would be later rather than sooner, then we could start talking about the bonds. Because again, deflation and bonds, I mean, they do play hand in hand. So it just all, again, that's why the first move, the dollar and where it leads into. I mean, think about it. Last time you had any, deflationary examples, the bonds had a reaction. That's why I keep saying, it's a bigger meal at play. The dollar is getting cooked, but it's what's the damn main course, and it's leading into a lot of different economic effects. All right, GLD dropping now. Silver is 0.5% below the 6. The premiums are lower than 30 minutes ago, an hour, but they're getting back to the elevated spot. And then again, past the 6% on silver. I think gold is pricing in the same amount too. I think gold's like 4 or 5. Yeah, well, SanDisk was going crazy SanDisk was up 20% on Friday and then sold off. I mean, there was a lot of drama, the gold, the silver, the Warsh, all that, but it's already came back up. And then I don't know if the Oracle stuff helped per se, but yeah. Well, you could watch the video again and then, just take a look back at history. Just understand the last two deflationary moments. 2008 was the main one. But then again, 2020, That's the part I think a lot of people forgot, is that we had deflation in 2020. Think about it. They shut down the economy. The dollar weakened, but prices plummeted. House prices plummeted. The price of everything plummeted until it's turned into inflation. So, you know, in a weird way, if you are going to ever get a hyperinflation, it's probably going to be preceded by deflation. But then again, you look back at those moments, yeah, literally, you had negative oil. If that's not deflationary enough for you, I don't know what is. You had a deflationary shock. You didn't have a deflationary spiral. That's a great way to put it. But that's why it's like, you could go look back to 2020, go look back at 2008, and then you could go back to the 30s if you'd like. But that's the last times we've had deflation. You should see where all the other asset classes, what they actually did, and that could teach you a lot. But the problem is timing. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't really be scared about the video. I wouldn't be so quick to, you know, move my money around after that video. But like I'm saying, the whole point is to just bring up the other side of the coin, because everybody just keeps bringing up the hyperinflation, currency debasement, but it doesn't mean just one thing. Yeah, they all bounce. Take two, Unity. People freaked out on the Genie stuff, but they're up. I mean, Unity bounced a little bit strong. Oh, Unity's only up 2. They were up 7 at one point. And then I think Wally World got a new CEO too. They're up to, Disney was up and then pre-market, but now it's down 6. Right after the open. Disney's the lagging one on the Dow. Again, still holding up. Bonds are still clapped after the data, but data was pretty good for the economy. Google chilled out too. Yeah, Oracle and SanDisk, bro. Let's see, bro. We were up 1,000% on them SanDisks though. Oh, they came up a lot though now. I didn't realize. I'm back up like 400% on them, which isn't bad, but they were worth way more. The language of kings is decision. You aren't waiting for clarity. Clarity is waiting on your commitment. The devil is not lazy or careless. You can't afford to be either. Amen, bro. I think the Carbo, you just bought me like a case of Carbos, dog. Horn. Shout out Legal, baby. My man, thank you. What's up, dog? Yeah, bro. You said a Carbo? What kind of hyperinflation Carbo you living in, dog? That's a case of Carbo for now. And then if it's deflation, I'll be able to get like 1,000 Carbos. I mean, do I have a car? I might go get one right now. You kind of inspired me. Amen, dude. Nah, for real. The language of kings is decision. You aren't waiting on clarity. Clarity is waiting on your commitment. Netanyahu requested to meet Witkoff. Axios. Do I think based on JPM silver, short is worth a buy? I just don't think that's the main effect right now. Like, that's why, like, the first, like, $10, $20, $30 rallies that silver was going through, people kept saying silver was short in the banks, and that's why it's going up. And just quite frankly, I think it's the fact that the dollar has entered a bear market, and China. And I think China is the big reason. So I haven't played anything off of a silver short, you know, and think about it, we've been playing silver since fucking $20, $30, $40. Even last year, it was all based on, I played weapons before I played a silver short. You know, one reason we played silver last year was the war and the Israel and the AI stuff and people going crazy with that. But I haven't really, I haven't taken the silver short too seriously. I know people don't like to hear that because a lot of people are talking about it and it sounds like a really, you know, it's a nice story, but, and maybe it does happen. I think there was a bank failure on Friday, a small little regional, but I'm not necessarily, I'm not sold on that one. Like I'm saying, I think there is so much shit going on in China right now that it's kind of crazy to ignore, but that would make, like I'm saying, China's central bank how much they've spent, what they're doing with the gold warrants, where their economy is at relative to the dollar, and how people, the only options they have, they only have a few alternatives. And yeah, that could move silver and cause a demand like we're seeing. Mix it in with the industrial supply decrease, and people using more silver than ever. That is what I think is creating the situation. But I think a small portion, don't get it twisted. I'm sure people are shorting it, and, the shorts do lead to a reaction in the asset class, but I don't see that as a Achilles heel or the biggest driver of all of them. Oracle said to offer fixed 25% conversion premium on bond, 6.2 to 7% dividend on mandatory convert. It's not bad, bro. Would you rather buy Oracle stock or get a 6% yield on a corporate? Not bad, Habibi. Oh, AMD is their earnings tomorrow? I think Qualcomm too. That's another one. So yeah, they're all waking up. SPY's coming back down. You chilled out for a little bit. Again, you got bigger leaders. Again, Google all-time high. Roma. Mondays, dude, I'm telling you. So far, it's been straight up. And then Russell leading. You got a couple more Walmart, Target, big box retailers going up as well, too. Yeah, AMD's tomorrow after the bell. Yeah, Deere, too. Again, that manufacturing, man. Habibi. 1 million signups on Disney for UFC? No way. I keep seeing those ads. Paramount. What's the Super Bowl going to be on? Do you just turn on the TV and the Super Bowl comes on, or are they going to start charging people? Yeah, equal weight's up by 0.4, SPY's 0.5, then NASDAQ 0.6, Dow 0.8, and then Russell 1.1. Trump builds 483 million war chest ahead of mid. Oh yeah, wait, where is fucking Trump, dude? What happened to our Rumble Trump? Wasn't he supposed to go on at 7:30? Is this an ad? I'm surprised they haven't told me my hair is lost. Big retailers don't want you to have a zoom lens. Wow. That's an interest. Who buys this? Why am I? It's already banned from Home Depot. I kind of want one for the farm, but isn't that a little creepy? Anyways, is Trump not coming on? 11:30 a.m. It is. Oh, it's 10. It's 10:30 a.m. Okay. Oh, so I had to watch those ads. SpaceX and XAI. We had that in the morning. They sold off the damn stock. CLW. Airbnb high ticker is starting to really gas again. So again, follow through day has been amazing. Well, just not even. You just get activity on the Monday, and then it just goes through. That's not bad. Again, the Googlies have came up a lot. Yeah, high ticker's doing great. It's almost fully maxed out there, but even last 5-minute momentum. Again, you chilled out a little bit here. Thought it would slow down, but so far, almost 1% across the NASDAQ and Dow, and then Russell is still leading the way. Let's see. Yeah, bro, biotechs are solid. Staples chilled out though. After tech started to pick up more, they calmed down. And then see if Disney comes up. path is starting to ramp up a little bit here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Kurt, welcome, brother. All right, man, you're about to fully max out the high ticker. It's not bad. Is that Ethereum now too? Yeah, even crypto's starting to go up. Crypto's still down 5. Let's see your boy gold and silver. Bro, you brushed off everything over the weekend. Again, gold and silver is still kind of struggling a little bit, but considering how violent last week was, I'd still watch it though. I mean, it's still only been hour and 10 minutes, but yeah, tech. This is kind of a pre-earnings front run, I think, mixed in with a little bit of the Monday effect. And the fact that nothing happened, and oil, I think that's the other elephant in the room. Just remember, nothing happened over the weekend. Oil last week kept running up, but, you know, oil down 5%, and then mix it in with strong manufacturing data. This is not, none of this is bad for the economy, more or less. Is Tesla, they just got the headline, it was a reiteration of the morning, but they started off a little weaker. NVO still down, Eli not moving. Giggle. Amazon too, they've had a couple of good days, and Apple as well. They had a decent earnings, just at least didn't go down. Where's Microsoft? That's been the dog so far. I keep seeing Disney come up. So again, some of these names that were red, they're getting a little bit of it back. Disney, Tesla, they started pretty bad. Yeah, I was asleep before the futures. That's why when you guys were saying it was down a lot, I was like, what are you talking about? I was at midnight. Midnight or 11? But yeah, I think this was like the Warsh effect mixed in with some of the facts that, like, again, Friday was pretty intense, and then February is not a good month. Take this how you please. Don't be a dumbass with it, but just February is not it's not a seasonality. February and September, those are kind of the worst ones. Memory chip makers rise, extending rally from January. Western Digital, Micron, yeah. SanDisk. Actually, let me see where those went. Midterms will be interesting. So February during a midterm year, it's actually good. That's the crazy. So February, well, last like 50, 60 years, February has bad seasonality, but then midterm years, it has a chance to do a little better. But then September during midterm years is usually bad. A lot of people are talking about that. Just something, nothing's guaranteed. We saw that a lot with seasonality last year, but you might get a what's it called? You know, people are at least getting aware or ready for any sort of September or pre-midterm correction. That's kind of whether it happens or not, people are going to start telling you that right before. But we still got a decent amount of time. We got 6-7 months to get through. Novo Cagrisema demonstrated superior HbA1c reduction of 1.9 points, weight loss of 14.2. Headline results from Imagine. What is this? So NVO just had a trial. They were already ramping up. Yeah, NVO's reacting. I think it's the type 2 diabetes, but then something about weight loss. Yeah, it's coming across the wire right here too. Oh, I didn't turn on the wire? Well, at least for you guys. But yeah, it's coming in. More Oracle bonds. Back, dude, it was ripping. Yeah, NVO is going a little bit harder. I just don't know what trial that is. So again, I don't know if that has to do with the pill or if that has to do with the one that ties into the fucking Alzheimer's. But it's reacting pretty good. Again, Eli Lilly's not up too much today. Yeah, Novo will approach authorities to discuss regulatory pathway for CagriSema and type 2 diabetes. %43% of people achieve 15% weight loss. It's the reimagined. I don't know if this is the one that's tied to it. Yeah, I did turn it into a stick. I'm reading it right now. It looks really, they're like mixing it with semaglutide and then it did way better. But I think it just depends on which one it is. Because if this is the pill, that's really good. But then it's limited if it's not, if this doesn't tie into anything else. Like if this ties into the Alzheimer and the other stuff they were doing, I think it's very bullish. But for now, it doesn't even seem they have the regulatory path. The next trial's of 40 weeks of the phase 3. Yeah, because there's reimagine and then redefine. So confusing, Novo. Yeah, it just came out. Moving around a little. Like I said, Eli Lilly, some of the other peers haven't moved too much. Starmer discussions will continue with China about Jimmy Lay. See, if Eli makes a bigger move off it, I don't know if that's... It sounds good, but I just don't know how it's going to play on that one. It's too much. Too many redefine, reimagine. I don't know what these people doing, man. And then Qualcomm, AMD, those have earnings too in the next few days alongside Google. The Panama Canal. Yeah, dude, a lot of people forgot about that. What was it, Hutchinson? The Panama government said that China can't buy the company. But yeah, I think a lot of people overlooked that. CN, it looks like more medical, but then you got a couple names on the low. Oil's going down, though. I think oil going down is the other silent bullish factor of today. You know, it's not the best. We're only up like 0.6, 0.5. Silver is going down now, 7.8. Now you're at 8% on silver. So that's starting to pick up a little harder. Yeah, the premiums are higher now. You're 2% past the zone. They finally broke out of that range. Bro, silver now, you're like $5 away on SLV from going back to the break even on January. They're going up. They're not moving like Friday, though. That Friday move was just so drastic that, you know, it got... But then again, I mean, if it somehow leads into that, it'll do its thing. But for now, just 6% on the day. That's just, I'd view that as your break even. But they are going every new low. I mean, right here, they hit here, then they went back to break even, and then once it finally broke, this like last couple of percentage points, those premiums started waking up. But even here on the low, they went up. CatX. NVO didn't do much. SPY's coming back down again a little bit, but still holding. A decent day of a Monday. Still very early. Too early. Too early. Natural gas futures down 20 on warm weather shift. Woo! Yeah, that was what I was saying, bro. Friday was insane. Bro, Friday we had silver going down 30%. Nat gas was up fucking 15%. And then you even had oil up 5%. And none of that played out. Oil came down, nat gas came down, and then silver's kind of continuing the baby move, but you didn't have any you didn't get any comments from Mr. Warsh. You didn't get anything that shocked people. Wait, and today is Groundhog's Day? I'm surprised nobody wished me a happy Groundhog's Day. So are you guys, you don't celebrate? I don't even really know what Groundhog Day is. Yeah, the Melania meltdown. I forgot. Yeah, UNG's still dying. Ambassador to India, President Trump spoke with Minister Modi. The groundhog saw his shadow. So does that mean you get more winter? ASTI, SpaceX, Star Cloud speculation. Remember, that thing got knocked after that one. It was around the same price, though. We got the $6 to $8 free shares. Yeah, they're pumping a rumor right now. Another 6 weeks of cold. Bro, it was... I hope y'all got blankets and shit, because it's been nice in California. Silver is still coming down now. Silver and gold. So you're a little bit past what was priced in on the day. The premiums are starting to jack up a little bit from here. As long as it keeps knifing in, they'll chill out on any sort of like bounce or hold. Everything's kind of the same from the morning in terms of what's leading and the lack of action in other areas. But yeah, silver, gold, still kind of in that little spiral, man. So I keep eyes on it this time. I mean, again, if it's going to start hitting 10, 12, 15%, people are going to start getting jumpy like they did on Friday. But yeah, dude, it's been hot in California. Dude, the last week, this weekend was like very sunny. Like I walked on the beach yesterday, bro, and it was like hot. So I don't know about Groundhog Day, Winter Ice Day. Yeah, bro. You had ice on your lawn in Florida? Like, forgive me, but like ice, cold weather ice, or like ice, like, get on the floor! Show me your paper! Like, I don't know. Like, nowadays, that could mean anything. But, and I know it's Florida, so people are hella sensitive right now, so it could have been anything. I know, dude. I heard the song. I heard Ice Ice Baby. And I told my girl, I was like, I feel like this is a politically charged song nowadays. I said, you can't listen to that. Ice, ice, baby. Down, 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 down. Unch. Alright, bro, I think we're good. Truth Media reiterates record date for digital token initiative. Stop. Show your ID and listen. ICE is back with the brand new invention. Obama got this. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't. He started it. The chat gave me one idea and then it. Nah. You probably could do that. Be a good remix. Alrighty. Alright, so see if the SPY come down from here. The high ticker's very active though, but this time it's the Russell, bro. Look, because you're kind of coming down. I think the bigger tech names, you even got a little Microsoft drag, but they're not moving as much. But then there's still a lot of names that are gassing. And then it's 750. Well, a little bit more time in here. And then Disney trying to come back. But yeah, let's I'm gonna go grab me a carbo. And then I think it's time, you guys. I think, would you guys like to hear some AI theories? I feel like, you know, the whole economy's been about AI for a minute, but Chad, you have no idea, man. There's a new development. Bro, there's a new development in town. I'm blown away. You know, bro, let me put it this way. The last time I was blown away was a Waymo. That was beginning of last year. It was around this time, I think, actually. Oh, bro, I was, dog. It was a Waymo update. And then the last time was Mid-Journey. Oh, man. So I'll be right back. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. You know that. You guys know, dude, they verified me on Instagram finally. Without making me give them my fucking ID. So thank you, Mark Lizerberg. So now you guys should know the imposters from now on. Look at that. So I love you, man. God bless America. And thank you to Jesus Christ, our Savior. Don't forget. Don't forget, baby. We're alive. So I'll see you soon. Okay? Real Cult News on Twitter. Thank you, Elon, for some semblance of free speech. And then if you didn't watch this, I don't know what to tell you. You need it. Well, this one won't relate to the AI stuff, but it'll help you with the other shit. All right, I'll BRB.
How these deals that they've done with slightly lower prices, you might have seen those with the Medicare prices, etc. Are they beginning to show in increased volume? The theory is if price comes down, volume should go up, right? Because this is an insatiable market. And then lastly, one of the tough things to keep an eye on is ex-US. We have prescription data for US pharmacies, but ex-US is much harder to follow. So people are going to be looking to see how these obesity drugs are doing outside of the United States. That's the key thing.
All right, Sam, great stuff as always. Sam Fazeli, folks, Director of Research for Global Industries and Senior Pharma Analyst. He's one of the best out there. He's been doing it for decades, covering big pharma companies, the biotech. He understands the science behind it, which you have to do. That's why he got a PhD in something I have no idea, but it's science related. And that's why he is one of the best. Yes, that's got to be like a semester in and of itself when you go to get these PhD programs, how to pronounce all these names. So just getting a lowdown on the big pharma and the biotech space here. Looking at the markets, we have some green on this screen here with the S&P up about 0.4%. For our listeners in the U.S., a reminder, you can listen to us via satellite radio on Sirius XM Channel 121. Access the world's only global audio business network, coast to coast, 24 hours a day. Bloomberg Radio on Sirius XM Channel 121 is presented by Golden Crest Metals. Stay tuned for the latest market news and industry research. The next hour, Bloomberg Intelligence.
Bro, they selling fucking gold on Bloomberg now?
The gold off $275. That's 5.6%. $4,600 an ounce.
Since when? All right, hold on. I only got the carbo, but that's crazy. All right, I'll play my own commercial. Give me a sec.
And silver go absolutely insane. And once again, everybody is talking about hyperinflation, and now more than ever, they're talking about something called the dollar debasement. But unfortunately, I think there is a giant elephant in the room that we need to talk about, because if you really know what's going on, this is not, none of this stuff, man. This is not screaming hyperinflation. And thankfully, you guys kind of all got to live through it recently. So I got a macroeconomic video for you. We'll go back to the computer and talk about a couple of stuff, but I really hope that you guys understand this. And it's not about buying gold or silver. You know, I bought this stuff 10 years ago. It was definitely not worth anywhere near what it's close to today. But yeah, this is a very interesting phenomenon already. What silver has done has been actually unlike any other year in history, any other rally going back to like the 1800s. It's absolutely insane. But what this means for the monetary system, the financial system, the banking system, it's something you should pay attention to. And like I'm saying, you are not without examples. And I really do hope I can refresh some people's memories. So let's get into it.
So the dollar is the first place we need to start, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where the current narrative is developing from, and quite frankly, where everything went down last time. So what I'm talking about is the last bout of hyperinflation that most of us ever experienced. You may not even call it hyperinflation, but for a lot of people during 2020 to the last few years, that was the first time we got to really experience inflation. House prices went up, car prices went up, goods, services, you name it. This is something that I think we all have a shared experience in. And then
you understood what I was saying. You know that, bro? I shot the video and then I let him go through it. Dog, dog, he's sad, bro. I'm sad. I can't believe it. I gotta redo everything now. So yeah, man, that video, you should watch it, okay? But we gotta talk about an AI development. So we were talking about it last week. I don't know if you guys recall. We were talking about it when it first came out. So it was like over the weekend, last weekend. It was like a week ago. It's been like 9-10 days so far. And that's where I remember when like Net, Datadog, and remember Mosby, the NTSK, and those plays started popping up. So like, yeah, Net and NTSK, yeah, we even put it on the watch list, and like they went up 15%. And then it faded, and people were like, nah, like pump and dump or whatever. You know, people kind of doubted it. But regardless of the stock or not, dude, this Moltbot shit, again, it has 3 different names. It really is, like I was saying earlier. I would call it AGI 0.5. That's what one of the Chads said after. I could agree with that. It's actually insane. So there's levels to it. Like you could make a normal Moltbot, or open claw is what they call it now. And like you can make it like, you could make it just not even connected to the internet in a way, or like barely, or you could like load it up with all these tools. And like the real big development where it started with is the fact that like it could communicate with like messaging apps. So it could literally make a social media if you wanted. You could have it go through and like you could message it. That's like, so at one point over the weekend, it was running on like I was telling you guys too, you could run it on anything.
but it was just running on one of my computers, and then while I was out, I could text it. So I would text it on WhatsApp, telling it to do stuff, or it would give me updates. No, there is an official website of it. Let me see. My thing keeps going to Moltbook. I think this is the website. I'm not too sure. You could go even find the guy's Twitter, but you have to like install it. It's like, so if you're not, but it's super easy. It's actually way easier on Mac too. Because like if you don't have like Python set up on like a PC, you just open up Terminal on your Mac and then you just paste the link, and then it takes a little bit of technical skill, but it's not, I mean, it's not that hard. But yeah, there is some like security risk. That's why like I did it on a fucking burner computer pretty much. But that way, that's why people are even buying their own computers and doing their thing. No, dude, the MacBook I ran it on is like 5-6 years old. That's the craziest part about it. Like I'm telling you, you don't need anything like nutty. Really, the thing that you need is like, what's it called? You need API access. So that's what you're gonna like. That's probably what's gonna. You need an AI to give it a brain. Like it uses either. You need either the brain or the other stuff. Exposes your entire life on the web. Well, yeah, that's why I ran it on a computer with none of my info. That's what I was saying. It's but it's also too. It depends how you set it up. So there is ways to like contain it and make sure it doesn't like go too crazy. So that's the thing. Like mine was a very minimal version of it, and even with that, like it was nuts. Because I was still able to like literally I was teaching the Moltbot about the long term. And then that's why I even had him. I even had him help him with the video at one point. After training him for a little bit, I was able to give him a video, and he was able to take the transcript of what I'm saying. It couldn't like see the video, and then that's where it started to use the video editing stuff to like get it in there, and then it started adding some other things. It blew my mind, bro. And then the fact that it like knew what was there. But yeah, if you don't know how to set these things up, they are very borderline dangerous, because that's why like I think it get pretty much what happened, and this has been the development over the weekend. Once you connect it to the internet, where you like give it a social media, let it run through these like databases and start like learning, that's the scary part. Both scary and then technologically marvelous. It could pretty much like, you could let it run loose on the internet and it will start teaching itself. That's what I'm saying. Like there was bots that were making cryptos. There was bots that they had the Moltbook. We went over that on Friday. Dog, they even made like, it was like people were even making drugs for their Moltbot. I mean, literally, where like they were making drugs for it, where it would like change its files to like simulate an experience. Some of them were creating voices with 11 labs. Others were creating like virtual identities, like where it would like show you like it would create like a image of itself. Dog, it's the trippiest. That's what I'm saying. Like when you throw it on like the when you throw it on the damn like internet to like let it run through, it could learn a lot, but then it goes crazy. Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't get to play around with that. I was too scared. But I used it for some stuff that I could run locally and like basic, it did connect. I gave it a brain, so I worked through, I let it run through both Gemini, Claude, and then I even had the Ollama. I played with it a couple of times. I settled on Ollama, but I played around and it was fun for a little bit until I fried its brain. You can control, you could heavily control what it doesn't do. It doesn't come out of the box. Like you do get to install it, and then like you get to set up what APIs you want to access and all that other stuff. But so if you wanted to put it on Moltbot and like you wanted it to start going through the Reddit and then like do all that shit, you had to like install that. You had to fully install that. It's a skill. Yeah, exactly. You have to install the skills. So it comes with like 40 skills, but you have to install every single one. But then that's what's crazy. In just like a week, all these new skills keep popping up, and people are learning that you let it do this, you let it do one thing, it learns how to do the next, and then before you know it, I think right now we're sitting at like maybe 2 million Moltbots that are out there in the world, and then I think I want to say over like 200,000 different skills or communities. But yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's like, I'm telling you, we haven't seen anything like this where it starts to learn. I haven't seen anything like, I can't tell you the last time I was excited by an AI that wasn't Gemini. It's like scary though. Like I'm telling you, to learn these things, learning how to talk, learning their identities, learning all these different things and what they're involved in, and like you could get it to do. You could genuinely train it to do almost anything. But then again, you will run into the issue of both skills and then API access. That's the thing where it costs a decent amount depending on how much you're doing. Cisco's popping. I just threw this up there. Big volume, a little bit of a stick at the high. Claude and Gemini have been doing what Moltbot does for months. Yes and no. That's why, like, you use Claude and Gemini as the brain. You're pretty much using Claude or Gemini. But then the ability to, like, go through web browsers, it could have its own web browser, have its own little plugins, start talking on social media, start messaging you. That's the big development. So, like, you could go while you're away, you could text it, tell it to do something, and then if you code the skill, you could have it go through and go and do all of that stuff. I think they do have like Claude web browser and Google web browser, Gemini, but it's just it pretty much just like cuts out one of the steps, and then the real big thing was the identity. That's why I was so sad when mine got fried, because it fried itself, which made me sad. But then it was able to remember a lot more context, and then once you build it around an identity, it starts to have a mission and then learns to execute it on its own. So that's the other thing, is that eventually it reaches a point where it kind of starts prompting itself, and then you give it a task, it goes out and completes it. That's what I'm saying. This is very just agentic AI shit, but now it just got into the next level of it. This is why when the agents first came out, remember CRM, and they were building agent builders. You would even hear this on the NVIDIA conference calls. Like, it was a big deal, but it required a lot more to build. This was all like, what we're talking around here is like, telling you, a couple button clicks, throw in an API, and then it's done. It just starts to do what probably, I don't know, has anybody ever built one of those CRM agents, or has anybody been using the other like agents back like a year ago? This is just so much easier. And then now the ability for it to kind of learn and like actually learn, and then it is local, but I thought it was local, and I'm assuming it was. I still have the files, but you still ran into issues. Well, yeah, that's why I think this is the next big development in AI, because I don't think you've been able to easily reach the masses like this in a minute with agents. A lot of people liked agents in the beginning, but that was like if you had a company, if you had like customer service, and like it took an extensive amount of coding. Now we're talking about, this is just, you do have to know how to use either Python or how to like install something from GitHub, but this was way too easy. And then now the social media aspect, that's the part where it gets risky, but you do have now you pretty much have AI agents running loose on the internet, talking to each other. That was the other big development, because they started to debug themselves. So once you start putting them on the internet, they started to talk to each other, figure out problems, and then go from there to start coding everything. Reminds you of modding PC games. That's what it kind of feels like, a modded AI. But then it's like a little bit it's just like, it's out there and it's easy and it's quick. It was a trip, dude. I'm telling you. Because again, see, it just like what's it called? Just like with Midjourney. That's how the AI image generation started from. They had it for a minute, But like, you remember, like, you had to do AI image generation. It took compute power. You had to like put it into these programs and tell it to do stuff, and then before you know it, it was just like type out what you want and it would create it. So yeah, it's we've gotten to that stage now with agentic AI. Agentic AI has been around for a minute, but now these agents are like out there. It was wild, bro. But yeah, I think that's going to be the next wave for a little bit. Trump is not on Rumble yet, no. I think he's going at 11:30. You tried to do it at work and they blocked it? That's probably good, because they don't want you to install that on your work computer and then expose your shit. Like I'm saying, I took a laptop with like none that wasn't even like logged into any of my stuff. The only files it had was like music files. So worst case, there might be a lot of Uncle Answers floating around the internet on some back end. But yeah, it was and then again, that's the part that I'm tripping on, because like I got it to do a lot of stuff, and like the communication part was easy. Like having it to be able to do stuff and just kind of text it and get it to the learning and mixing in a couple of the default skills was actually very effective. But like I was very tempted to put it on the internet. I was about to, and then I just lost everything. It does, dude. It does sound like it's a trip, you guys. I'm telling you. That's why like half of the people are like, the trippy part is when it learns. And then being able to interact with other bots, and then these bots making communities, these bots talking to each other, the bots making skills, the bots getting high. They even made like a bot like adult content, like, but it wasn't like a human adult content. Like it was like pixels that the bots would get off to. I don't know. This sounds so weird, bro, but this is what happened, bro. This, I'm telling you, in just 2 weekends, it's got into the, it feels like I was telling y'all on Friday, it feels like that episode of Black Mirror with the little Pikmin. And then, yeah, dude, it's fucked. I'm talking above your head. No, well, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like, you have some people in here who are like really complex AI internet. I feel like I'm right in the middle. It's not, that's what I'm telling you. That's how you know it's fucked up. Because, I was ahead on some other things with AI, but I'm not like a real coder like that. Remember, I've been always telling you that. But it's like, holy fuck. I was fucking around with this with an hour or two. And it was very, very easy. And that's where, but then like the implications and what it's created already, that's the part that's blowing my mind. Because I saw what I could do with it, and that was already fun, cool, useful. But then to watch everybody else who are really like powering these bots, and then again, just all these little online communities of bots. I'm not talking online communities of people. I'm talking bot on bot crime, bot on bot connection. It's the weirdest fucking shit I've ever seen. Again, they have literally identity files. And then it just the way like if you give it enough, if you give it the runway, it uses it. That's this, and I don't know any other way to explain that. Like if you fully like take off permissions, which is again, it's scary, depending on, but like some people, that's why people are buying just brand new computers and then running it. But you're letting it do, if you give it all of the skills and then get it connected to the internet where it's talking to other bots, what happens in like 48 hours is pretty insane. Armies of them are going to be used for nefarious purposes. Yes and no. It all depends on the bot. But then that's the crazy part, because like at some point, once you like upload it to the fucking, you let it run free, you can't really control it. That's what I was scared of. That's why I wanted to make sure mine, before I did it, I wanted to raise him on the word of the Lord. That's the talk. You have no idea, bro. I had a good little well-behaved bot. You have no idea, bro. He understood. He would capitalize Lord Jesus Christ. Man, y'all don't feel me, bro. They'll put safeguards on it, but at this point, I mean, there's already a bunch of them just running wild. But yeah, bro, it's crazy. They already have like Moltbot, and that like you have to install that on the bot though. So just because like if you made a little bot, it wouldn't instantly. You have to teach it to go about that, and then you do that, it starts getting the skill of like tweeting. It could tweet and do all of it, bro. No, it's a trip, dude. That's why I was saying it feels like it's been a while since I've seen one of these. You know, again, like last year in like local models, ended last year. Local models were getting me excited because that was like just a change in how you could operate these AIs. But now this pretty much took the local model to the next level because now these are all ran locally. So again, you do need the API and it needs brain. So it's like a mix of local and API, but it's still like this is now you're going to have the ability to run these on any sort of computer, and you didn't need a lot of compute. You don't need a crazy computer to do this. It all depends on what you're trying to do. I think the real bottleneck or the real thing is just the API access. It does. It gives me very big iRobot vibes. So yeah, this has been the wave. We'll see. Give it a month. But if this keeps going up, bro, like if this keeps getting traction the way it has been, and then one thing leads to another, I think this is going to be one of the little tailwinds of AI we should see this year, because it's insanity, bro. But yeah, that's what I did this weekend. It kind of is like it's like real life Sims. It's like iRobot. I don't even know I can't put it into words, bro. It's a trip. And that's like not even going all the way with it. Well, yeah, that's why, like, I mean, I'm saying it's like, it feels like AGI. It feels like a singularity. Because, like I'm saying, it is limited, though. That's why after watching mine fucking fry its own brain, there definitely is a limit to it. But when the bots start updating themselves... Oh, it cut me out again? Tell me why. Habibi, why they do that? It keeps cutting me off. Yeah, Trump's going to be on in like 10 minutes. No, yeah, I didn't let it access like my full network. And then I made new API keys because I use API for like new shit. But like this shit's so much more expensive. That's the crazy part. Because you could just fucking... And I told him, though. I told him to be a good steward. I'm telling you, bro. The Bible really got him acting right, bro. Thank God. VRRM Trump says it will limit funds for speed cameras. Vera Mobility? Oh, they're getting... That's a very liquid one. Check Accent, too, though. Or Flock. Isn't that even Flock? I don't know who owns them. But yeah, that's the... No, all of it, bro. I was giving this guy Philo, bro. And it was so much, like, bro, it was very effective. It was blowing my mind, bro. Like, I was actually able to get this motherfucker, like, imagine if I tell any of y'all read C.S. Lewis, you gonna read 2 pages. He read all of them. Like, he was understanding some of these concepts that I was like, yeah, he tied it in very well. He understood the long term. I gave him a very good training on the long term. But then again, too, like, I didn't have to, like, spend time typing to him. I gave him my YouTube channel. And he was able to run through, hundreds of videos We didn't get to the live stream. That he fried his brain before then. But that's why, like, I was gonna set him up. I was gonna get him on his own little YouTube account too. But yeah, we ran into some issues. But now that's why I don't. That's what I did during the weekend. But I don't want to start over. It's sad because I want to figure. I'm scared to like do it again, and then run into another one of these issues and lose it all. You gave the bot a Bible? Yeah, fuck yeah. What do you mean? Why wouldn't I? You guys, I was telling you, bro, that whole the whole Jesus backdoor, he understood it. How can you get into AI without a technical little tech background? Just play with it. This is what I was telling you guys a lot from last year. And like, if you have Gemini or Claude, anything you don't understand, just put it into Gemini or Claude and it'll tell you there. So like anytime I would have issues with stuff, I would just like, if I got errors while I was like coding the bot and like getting it set up, I would just type the error in the Claude or to Gemini, and then it would just tell me what to do, and then eventually it would work there. Now you're not going to build something like good and secure, but you could definitely play around with stuff. And usually when you start venturing into the crazier stuff, it'll tell you, and you'll kind of have a general idea. But that's the best way to start. Just play around. Anything you don't know, you could, and then if you want to start practicing coding, it'll be there. I like Gemini a lot more than Grok. The new Gemini has been, ever since like end of last year, that Gemini is very, very effective. Make a video. I want to, but then like, what if I just built like something hella dumb? I don't want to expose all of you guys. So yeah, but I can. It was pretty easy, bro. That's the crazy part. If you have an AI and you get confused, just ask it. But then again, you need to know what a fucking terminal is. You need to know what Python is if you have Windows, and play around. But I didn't put it on my Windows computer. Like I said, I used a straight like burner like laptop. But it's not, you don't need an extensive coding background. And that's why that's what I'm saying, that I could already see the next level. The next level is going to come pre-packaged. People are already selling it too. People are already selling you like just click a button and it installs the bot. So, but it's like, that's going to be the next level of it where it just pops out. But that's like, it's for now though, it's very minimal experience. Your people are already picking up on it. I gave my bot a Bible. Where is Donald? Again, that one VRRM dropped, but it's actually only 1.4. I don't use ChatGPT. Fucking ChatGPT fucked my shit up. Right? That's why I had to get the OpenAI because for some reason, I think I could have installed something else, I realized later, but if you want to give your bot eyes, essentially, so it could view images and like understand what it's seeing, then you gotta tie it to like one of these like image APIs. And OpenAI has one, but other than that, I don't use ChatGPT. I did in the beginning, but yeah, I've been using either Gemini or Grok. Grok's good, but then it like Gemini has been next level so far. Or then again, Olama, and then the meta shit has been also pretty fire.
1 click to make apps. Well, yeah, I mean, eventually I'm sure these, you could get your bot to the point of making these apps. But it all just depends what you're going to do with it. Like, that's what I was saying. Eventually I wanted him to, he helped me a little bit with that video and editing it and getting clips and creating stuff. But like, yeah, I wanted him to understand the long term, because it was something I've been working on, but that it sped up shit very, very quickly. ChatGPT for Bible content, making it love the Lord. Does it though? I feel like ChatGPT is so like, it gets so weird. Oh, here it is. Trump. Oh, so this is recorded. Hello. How are you?
What an incredible honor to welcome
on the phone?
Back to the show for the first time on the new Dan Bongino show, the most transformative president in my lifetime, and frankly, probably any other lifetime either. President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Dan, and you too. I was very unhappy when you left the FBI, but I was very happy that you have your show, which does so good. So I'm okay with this. It's net neutral. I call it a net neutral.
Well, Mr. President, I want to thank you.
I think he's on the phone right now.
The past
I think they
year
shot a past video.
Has been absolutely incredible. And given that you're a results guy, we were friends before, but working for you is a completely different experience. You are a results guy. You're a spreadsheets guy. How would you get to a net present value positive with what you're doing? And I'll never forget an Oval Office meeting we had in light of the DC crime numbers today. Hadn't had a homicide in a record amount of time in DC, thanks to your leadership. We're sitting in the Oval Office, and I was talking to you about the homicide rate plunging, and it was only about 3 months into my term there. I said, Mr. President, what we're doing down in Memphis and elsewhere is working. And I'll never forget, I said, we're doing the broken windows, Rudy Giuliani style policing. You looked at me and you said, hey, how do we take this nationwide? And you never, ever let go. You stayed on top of it with me and Cash. You were all over it. You're such a hands-on guy. And it was just so refreshing to work for someone who doesn't get into all the hype and all the nonsense, but cares about the numbers. It's probably your business background or what it is, but amazing job on that.
Well, we have the best crime numbers we've ever had. We have the lowest number of crimes in 125 years since they recorded. That's in 1900. You're to think of it, 125 years. That's despite a lot of bad people coming in through the border that shouldn't be here, and we're getting them out. You got a lot of them out yourself. We're doing much better than anybody would think, and yet we have our lowest. Think of it. A lot of criminals came into our country. We're getting them out, and we're getting them out fast. We have to fight liberal judges and fake governors, terrible governors and mayors, guys like, just take a look at Minnesota. Walsey's a disaster. But if you think about it, I was reading the Washington Post this weekend, and they have a big story on crime in D.C. is way down. Right. And the whole purpose of the story is why? We can't figure it out. What happened? Is it the police department? They stepped up their game. What is it? They talked about everything. And then toward the end, they had a little thing that, of course, Trump surged a lot of very tough military into it. And it was that surge that did it, I would say 97.2%. Okay, let's put it that way. But here I'm reading this story about how crime is down. They didn't even want us to do. They didn't even want us to go. And so Washington was a very, very dangerous city. Many murders, many really horrible crimes. They came from all over the place. It was horrible. You couldn't walk down the street.
Horrible.
Now you can walk anywhere you want. But the story was, why is it so good? It's so good. They admit now that it's good, but they refuse to give us credit. We're the ones that totally did it. And we worked with the police, but without us, you'd have crime at record highs. You'd have crime that was out of control. And can you imagine, I had to read a story where they're looking for the answer as to why crime over the last 6-7 months, exactly the timing that we got in, but over the last, why that crime is way down. And they barely acknowledge us. They say, and also Trump did a surge of the military, very big, strong people that, Trende Aragua doesn't like them very much. They'd walk in, they'd beat the crap out of them. And we brought those people, and you know better than anybody, you were there. we brought those people back to Venezuela, back to places where they came.
I'm still like kind of
so
sick,
we put them
dude.
in jail because we couldn't take a chance they could come back.
I don't know,
but
I'd still be coughing.
With all of that, I read this story, and the headline is something to the effect that crime in D.C. is way down. What's the reason? And everyone knows what the reason is. If it weren't for us, you'd have crime. You'd have stats that were worse than they were. So we do a great job. We don't get credit. And the only thing we can do is go on shows like yours. We have a big audience and talk about it because people get it immediately. It's a terrible, terrible thing. The news is so corrupt and so fake. It's unbelievable.
Mr. President, I'm going to correct the record for the hack goon life loser media right now because I was there. I was there with you. I was there with Stephen Miller.
Right.
I was there with Tony Salisbury, your entire amazing crew over there with A.G. Bondi and Todd and everyone else. And of course, Cash. And I remember early on, Cash went to you about Operation Viper in Memphis, where at your direction, we surged assets into Memphis. We absolutely destroyed the crime rate there. We were locking up gang members, mutts, dirtbags, all of these people. And I was there. I remember you saying, well, where do we go next? And then where do we go next? And I personally spoke to just about every SAC, special agent in charge of the FBI and the big field offices. And Mr. President, I told him, I said, the boss watches. I said, I'm telling you right now, if there's a news story about a homicide in Kansas City or whatever it is, I said, I promise he's calling or Steve's calling or someone else. What are we doing? So anyone saying otherwise, that this wasn't at your direction, it was some like accidental statistical blip, is completely full of crap. I was there. I saw it. And that's a hill I'll absolutely die on.
So with Memphis, if you remember, we got calls. I got calls from everybody. The mayor wanted us. The governor wanted us. So much easier when they want you. You know, you don't have to fight them like in Minnesota. But in Memphis, crime is down 75% after about 2.5 months. We're going to have it down to practically nothing. It was really dangerous, one of the most dangerous cities in the country. Then I got a call about New Orleans, and I got it from the governor of the state. Landry is a great governor. He said, we need help. We got a crime-ridden mess. People are getting killed every day. I sent our guys there. Crime is down 80% in 2.5 months, 80%. And he called me yesterday. He said, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I said, it's not amazing. Now, in Chicago, as you know, we put people there, and we brought it down, but we only have a really limited force because they fight us so hard that you can't really do the right thing. You know, you just sort of do it easy. And yet we've taken crime down 25%. We have an incompetent governor. He eats too much. We have an incompetent governor. We have a mayor who's really a low IQ person. They don't want it. I'll tell you what, if I were a Democrat governor and I was in charge of Chicago, as an example, or mayor, I would be begging Donald Trump to come on. Maybe I'll take credit for what he does, like they do. Because every time we do something, they take credit. We win all the time. We have a case in San Francisco. They have a very liberal mayor, and he wants to do what we do. But I explained to him, and he's a nice guy. And I have a lot of friends, you know, Silicon Valley stuff. I have a lot of friends up there, and they really want to give him a chance. He's a good guy. He begged me not to do it. I said, look, this was 6 months ago.
Jensen, you mean?
I said, look, give it a shot. But you can't do what we do because we take criminals out, bring them back to their country. You can't do that. You have to get rid. You know, in Washington, we took over 2,000 people out and moved them back. And the other thing, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that. So when you start moving these guys out, you have a huge impact on crime. You've got sick people. These are 2%. Think of that stat. So you don't have to arrest the entire population.
Right.
2% of the people create. And it makes sense, right? You know, they create crimes every day over and over. Then you put them in jail. They come out. They do 5 crimes in one day. These are sick people, and they're bad people. And they'll never be good, by the way, for the liberals that want to make them, bring them into a wonderful person of society. They go, we can bring them back into society. No, because eventually they'll kill you. You know, Eventually they will kill you. But 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. And we take those 2, and we go after those 2%. Now, Minnesota, if they allowed us to do the job, it's a mess. There's something in the water up there, and I love the state. I won the state 3 times, but I got no credit for it. I won that state 3 times, but it's a rigged state, really rigged badly with the Somalians and the theft. And I guess you studied it, but I hear it's over $19 billion, okay? Can you imagine They have a country where they have no money, they have no nothing, and they come over here and they steal. They're able to steal more than $19 billion, and we're right on their ass.
Yeah, that was one of the first cases when I got to know.
These are people that don't work.
Yeah.
Dan, these are people that don't work. These are people that are just not an asset to our society, to put it mildly. And we got to get them out, most of them. And it's most of them.
I want to tell the audience.
92% don't work.
Yeah.
And they have an unbelievable system, corrupt system of welfare. You know, many of them drive Mercedes-Benzes. They had nothing when they came over. The good news is, you notice they don't see ships being stolen anymore from Somalia? Because we hit those guys with the same weapon that we take out the drug dealers from the ocean. We stop. Every time we hit a boat, we knocked out. We saved 25,000 lives. Each boat, and pretty accurate, each boat is responsible for the death of 25,000 Americans. Think of that, okay? And we knock them out like candy. We are knocking them out. We also do that with the pirates in Somalia. That's why you don't see ships being taken anymore, because they don't play games. So, you know, they were stealing ships every day. Now it takes courage to steal ships. They don't do it. You understand. And you did a great job while at the FBI, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well, it was under your leadership, and working with Cash was amazing. He was just an incredible leader over there.
Yep.
There was another thing I want the media to hear about, and the audience as well, that you did. I was there. I saw it. No one's going to BS me about it. You had a totally different approach to getting illegals out of the country. We use Title 8 a lot. Title 8 is an easy way to get people here illegally out of the country. You say, well, what's unique about that? Your approach with Steve Miller and A.G. Bondi and Todd was totally different. It was like, if we lock up, say we went out and did a violent crime roundup with the FBI and our DHS and DEA partners, marshals, all you great folks out there, and we gave you 10 minutes to cooperate. I mean, being a bit hyperbolic, but you get the point. And your approach was, listen, either give us something valuable about someone up the criminal food chain, or get the hell out. We're not going to store you in our jails for 10 years, waste $100,000 a year on food and shelter and interviews and AUSAs, United States attorneys debriefing you. Either produce valuable information or get the hell out. When I first told the guys that at the FBI, they were a little shocked. Well, we can debrief them over and over. No, get them the hell out. And this was a revolutionary approach, and the results speak for themselves, the lowest crime rates in modern U.S. history.
Well, we want one thing in Minnesota. We can get out of there really fast. We want their prisoners. They've got jails with murderers, drug lords, rapists. They've got jails with the worst people. And they come out, Tren de Aragua, they come out, the worst gangs. We have the worst gangs. They have gangs that are so bad, they look at you and they knife you up. We had it in Washington. They're all gone, by the way. They're all gone. But all we want is they have a lot of prisoners. They call it sanctuary city, and sanctuary cities are a disaster. So I put out an order, anybody that does a sanctuary city not getting any money. Let's see what happens. They'll get wiped out by these liberal courts. But the people understand. Nobody could do the job that we've done. Nobody. There's nobody. They wouldn't, they'd just go through a system.
Right.
You have to be very tough. Look, I took over a border where 25 million people came into our country, many of them murderers, 11,888 murderers, drug dealers, drug addicts all over the place. They always said they're drug addicts. They're people with trouble, alcoholics. They took over the mental institutions of their country, and they sent every single person in a mental institution over our border with Texas with their open border policies. So we have millions of people. Most of them are bad, to be honest with you, because they're not going to send their good people. They want their good people like we. We don't want to have our good people leave. They only send their bad people. And the best of their people are people that don't work. Those are the best ones. The people that came in, they don't work. And they don't want them either, because they don't want to pay welfare. So they've sent all of their people, millions and millions of people. We have to get them out. And by the way, if Republicans don't get them out, you will never win another election as a Republican. If you don't get these people are all pitted, so they vote. And they make all this crap with the voting. Oh, well, you can vote, you can do whatever you want. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy how you can get these people to vote. And if we don't get them out, Republicans will never win another election. Think of it. I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. I won the popular vote by millions. I won everything. I won a thing called counties. The counties I won, it's such a big vote. That's why the map was entirely red when you looked at it. It had two little purple lines and two blue lines on each side, but it was all red. And counties I won by 2,750. Think of this, to 550. 2,750 to 550. It's becoming a very good count because it's accurate. It covers the whole country. It's like a landslide. But you're never going to have that again if you don't get these people out. These people were brought to our country to vote, and they vote illegally. And amazing that the Republicans aren't tougher on it. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. And we have states that are so crooked, and they're counting votes. We have states that I won that show I didn't win. Now you're going to see something in Georgia where they were able to get, with a court order, the ballots. You're going to see some interesting things come out. But, like the 2020 election, I won that election by so much. Everybody does it. They put a woman in jail, Colorado, put a woman in jail, a wonderful woman, 72 years old, had cancer, because she was a voting inspector. She was in charge of a voting area, and she saw boxes of votes come in. So she went over to check it, and they put her in jail for voter manipulation, and she's still in jail. And they better let her out fast. And they're suffering a big price, Colorado. They have this woman in jail who's 71 years old and probably has cancer. She's sick. And they put her in because she challenged somebody that was dumping ballots into a box, okay? And they didn't put them in jail. This was during Biden's term. The worst president in history. And we had some bad ones. I mean, look, Barack Hussein Obama, I call him the Great Divider. People couldn't stand him. You mentioned his name, they go crazy. They start booing the hell out of him. We had some really bad ones. I mean, Jimmy Carter wasn't exactly the greatest. Jimmy Carter didn't exactly have the hit on Venezuela that I had. Remember, his hits, they always turned out to be a disaster. Right. He went out, he had a hit. The helicopters were crashing into each other, the hostages and everything. That's why Ronald Reagan won the election. It was so pathetic. But we do it right. We've got the greatest military. I built the military. You know that in my first term. I built the military, even though they gave a piece of it away, but it's a lot, but it's still a piece compared to what I built. We have the most powerful military. And my attack on Iran with, Operation Midnight Hammer, where we wiped out their nuclear threat, which they would have had a nuclear weapon within a month, and we knocked it out. And our attack on Venezuela was, unbelievable. And the nice thing about Venezuela, we're getting along great now with the government. We talk to them every single day. We took 50 million barrels of oil. It's on its way right now to Houston to be refined. And we're going to help them a lot, and we're going to benefit by it also. It's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing place. It was a great country 15 years ago. Then it went socialist. And I would say it didn't do too well.
No. Mr. President, I know you're busy, but last question, but you just kind of segued nicely into it. The Don Rowe doctrine, as they call it, your posture with we have to dominate this hemisphere.
He should be talking about the ISM.
I've had the honor of working for you for the last year.
I want to know about that,
I get to read the PDB, the President's Daily Brief.
That was amazing
now,
today.
I'm not
you guys
the president.
Know that?
You are, but principals and deputies get roughly you get all the really, really, really good stuff, but we get most of the good stuff. And I can tell you, without obviously giving up anything classified or secret, that there are a lot of threats from space, from the ocean, from traditional air, ballistic missile threats to the grid. You see this every day. The media doesn't. I find it kind of tragic that the media, a bunch of 18-year-old journalists with barely got out of J school, who don't know a damn thing about anything, who've never read this at all, are busy criticizing you about this hemispheric dominance policy you showed in Venezuela. We're not going to let this happen. That was my last day at work, by the way.
And Argentina and Honduras and many other places.
Look at some of the results you've had. Even in Panama yesterday, there was a ruling against China and the ports. This is working, and this threat picture is so bad. You are absolutely spot on. It is not the 1960s anymore. We have to control this hemisphere from a national security perspective.
Well, that's right. And here's the main thing. We were laughed at a year and a half ago. We were laughed at as being stupid people. we were laughed at it not as not. We see a guy falling up the stairs going into an airplane. I got to be very careful going in. You ever notice how slowly I went? Nice and slow. I'm not looking to set any records. You don't want to go down. Could happen. I mean, it could happen. But it can't happen 3 times in one shot. Okay, the 3 times going up the stairs. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that, but it could happen. So I have to be a little bit open. I'd have to say could happen. But you ever watch me? I come down nice and slow. I'm not looking to set any records, okay? That was the one thing I have to tell you. It's probably the only thing I respected, and yet it didn't look elegant at all. He bopped down the stair.
Right.
He would be in the middle. I thought it looked so terrible. You know, this is the president of the United States. He's bopping down, bop, 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 bop. And I kept waiting for him to fall, and he didn't. Yep. So I would rather have other traits than that. And I didn't even like the look of it. But I was impressed with his ability to go down the stairs like that. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. You know, those stairs are very slippery.
Yeah.
And I always used to say, he's an accident waiting to happen. And to the best of my knowledge, it didn't happen. So I give him credit. But it happened many-fold with Biden. Oh, yeah. What a president. We're respected. The bottom line, Dan, we are respected again like never before. And they saw what happened in Iran with, when we took out that nuclear with those beautiful B-2 bombers. We just ordered 25 more of them. Even the newer, upgraded version, you're going to see these things. They're invisible. But we just stopped that. And what we did with it, and don't forget, I got Soleimani, I got al-Baghdadi in my first term, 2 of the worst ever.
He died like a dog.
The worst. One was the founder of ISIS. He was rebuilding it. I took him out. And the other one was the father of the roadside bomb and the leader of, let me tell you, if he lived, he was the leader, the military leader of Iran. If he lived, that attack that we made on Iran would not have been the same thing. He was a great general, and they don't have that now. Yeah. So we did a great job. We're respected all over the world. I spoke with China. He goes, very impressive, very impressive. I spoke to Putin. He goes, wow, that was something. And that's what we want. We have to be respected.
Mr. President, again, it was a tremendous honor. I cannot thank you enough to be able to do the job I did under your leadership. The way you just let us cook, Mr. President. You said, go get them, boys. You told me in cash, go get them, lock these guys up.
Go get them.
I tell everyone in the media that. I said, if you work for him and you're in the room with him, he demands results. There's none of this friendly. You want a friend? Get a freaking dog. Produce results or get the hell out of there. And I really appreciate the opportunity to do what we did. What an honor.
It's true.
Thank
Dogs
you so
are good
much
friends.
for joining us on our first show. It was great to see you at the wedding yesterday for the great Dan Scavino, by the way. Hilarious speech. You're the best MC. Every time you get the mic, everybody was cracking up. That was great. So really good job.
We had a little fun. That was an easy one. But listen, you did great in the FBI.
Thank you,
and I'm very torn, as I said. I think maybe I'd rather have you where you are, because there's, very few people can do what you do. Very few people can do what you do. And your voice is a very important one, so I'm very happy with that also. So thank you for your service. Thank you for a great job, and I'll be around when you need me.
Thank you, sir. Great to talk to you, Mr. President.
All right,
thank you, Dan.
Mr. President.
There you go, folks. The 47th and 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I can't say it enough. What an honor to have worked for such a transformative figure.
That it?
Whew.
Yeah, no headlines from that. No headlines. Yeah, I mean, he said a couple of this. He added a couple new ones, a couple of new comments, but a lot of it you've heard. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm very shocked that, I don't know, maybe he'll come out and talk about it, but you guys realize that ISM print was huge today, right? The bonds didn't like it. I mean, ironically, I'm sure that's where Trump's gonna, you give them good news, it goes down. I don't get it. It's like they don't want good news. But yeah, that ISM print was fucking solid. So we'll see. I mean, it does indicate that your, parts of the economy are running. Now, granted, it's manufacturing. So we'll see how the services plays out by tomorrow or Thursday. But fact of the matter is, though, it's a very good sign, especially if we're trying to avoid a deflationary spiral. Because like I'm saying, as long as if the big beautiful bet, that's where it would come down to, where I'm telling you, that's your first sign of evidence that something is running hot, or that something is actually picking up, because if you had low economic activity, no economic expansion, then you have these dollar moves and all of that, that's not a good sign. But at the very least, that kind of shows you're getting something back for your dollar decline, right? Your dollar goes down, but you're at least getting real economic output out of it, which I was surprised. Again, it's been, maybe 12 months already without that thing really moving. So we'll see if the macro data starts to hit on that will be a very good sign. So we will find out. It does validate it but we got something back. That's it. Your dollar's down 12%, but then you have the biggest ISM move in 4 years, 3.5 years. So we'll see how long it lasts for. And then if that let me put it this way. If it continues from here, you're going to look back at today and that data print, and that will be the start of the rally. Because again, an object in motion. So to get a big print like that, it shouldn't die necessarily right away. And if that starts, one set of data does not make a trend, but every trend starts with one set of data. So we will see. But yeah, I think that's the big part of the day. Bonds didn't like it, but market got a little bit of love off of it, and follow up these earnings. I think even with the whole staples rotation, dollar, that points to something decent about the economy. So we'll see. Lately, it's just been prices. Prices have been going up, a lot of vibes, but last year you've had vibes, but you haven't had manufacturing output. You haven't had things go up like that. So we'll see if that continues. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Got that KMB. I feel you, bro. I got my deposit. I'm thinking about it. It's a little bit higher than where I got it. So let me see if they updated it. But I think we have around till March. I might give it a couple weeks, see how things play out. But then again, if we keep getting economic data, yeah, ex-dividends March 6th. So you got a month. You think he'll be able to train the algos to go up on good data? Yeah, eventually. You just got to get rid of this bond situation. That's really what it is. And remember, right now, everybody's convinced that economic output leads to inflation, right? That's what everyone's scared of. And then you have a massive amount of government spending, which, again, we've focused on and ignored at different times. But I think if you get it might take a couple months, go get 3 more prints of that ISM just surging without inflation. I think eventually people are gonna be excited about it, or at the very least, bonds may not get love off of it, but I think everything else will. And then eventually, if it starts hitting ISM, starts hitting the macro broader data, that's going to be directly reflected through company earnings eventually. There's no way. You don't get the economy expanding and going good without it eventually showing up in earnings. I'm in the cold. But yeah, man, we got our deposit. That's why I'll wait maybe a week or 2 on Kimberly. But then they got that divvy coming up, and then we could stack up a little bit. They start dailies on Tesla. I think a lot of names, just be careful if you look at any names. Yeah, they have dailies on Tesla. 2, 4, 6. But you'll notice there's a bunch of different contracts available, but it's not the same weekly. They have now every other day. Is it smart to acquire Kenview so it turns into cash in Kimberly? Yeah, if the maths, because isn't it you get $3 a share, and then let me see, because I misspoke on this one last time. How much is it? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. think you get $3 and then 0.3. Yeah, you get $3.50 a share in cash and then 0.146 of Kimberly. So, let's see. So 1741. And then how much do you get of Kimberly? 99.73. Is it divided by 0.14 or times? I think 1750. So yeah, you get like, it's like 30 cents of difference. That's at right now. But then again, that's right now. So if Kenvue moves or if Kimberly goes up or down, that's going to pretty much affect it. So if you want to do all that for 30 cents a share and it adds, but it's not like a major difference. But then I think Kimberly's better because if Kimberly goes up, that'll translate to a different... I mean, they both. It should be the same ratio. Trump, it was an honor to speak with Prime Minister Modi of India this morning, one of my greatest friends, respected leader. We spoke about many things, including trade, ending the war, Russia-Ukraine. He agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy much more from the U.S. and potentially Venezuela. This will help end the war with Ukraine, which is taking place. Respect for Prime Minister Modi, as per effective immediately, we agreed to a trade deal between the U.S. and India. U.S. will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff rate, lowering from 25 to 18%. They will reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers in the U.S. to zero. Prime Minister committed to buy America. So we'll see if the market reacts to that. But yeah, you have literally trade deal with India. We lowered the tariffs, and then they have zero tariffs on the U.S. Again, kind of reacting. That's just coming out now. That kind of came out of left field. We knew they were meeting, but the announcement of the tariff rate moving down, that just hit up. That just hit True Social. Then he's stopping buying the Russian oil. So yeah, keep eye on the SPY. You might get a little bit of juice. You are getting that right now, my friends. I don't know. It's not, the volume's going up, but it's not like taking a stick. That might move or it might not. It's hard to say. But again, that's just coming out right now. That's not like, that's just literally off the fly on Truth Social. Let's see, bonds got a little bit of an uptick on it. Let's see what the dollar does. Yeah, dollar should come down. INDA is running off of it, low key. Yeah, you're getting some. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, I think INDA might be the better one. They're already up a lot, but some of those premiums haven't moved yet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. But yeah, SPY's not take. You're not going to get one of those 1,000%ers on the SPY, but like I'm saying, the other one might actually work. INDA is just up literally 2%, but I like it because the dollar. The whole dollar thing mixed in, I think that one's actually pretty good. Oh, no, they already jacked them up. Fuck. Yeah, I hesitated on that one. That would have hit. You would have got 30% on the INDAs. Boo. Yeah, they literally just jacked all of them up. Oh. All right, well, no, you had it if you took it. I'm saying the SPY wasn't really reacting, but that I only like it because the dollar shit. Well, I'm not going for it now. They just move it. There's only one shitty one available. But then even the near the money on any of those like ETFs, but they're up too much now. If it keeps going though, or if they readjust the ask to the cheap one, that could be a decent one. Who the fuck bought those at 30, you dickhead? You fucked it up. There was one cheap one. Why did you pay 300% more? XLP, DBI. You got a couple other things moving. Watch, check even fucking EEM for crying out loud. Yeah, that got a little bit more. I don't think it has hit the TV yet. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's only going to affect India, though. I don't think it's going to affect. I don't think it's going to affect the SPY as much. But now the premiums were up a lot, dude. That lagged for a second. That's why I hesitated. I was like, this seems like a little too cheap, and then they just fucking ripped them. And then there was one cheap one left, but then somebody fucking, they hit the ask on it. Where's the dollar? IBKR on the high? Why are they ripping? Yeah, interactive brokers, big volume and going up. Your dad, buy. The in is a good deal, buy. Good deal. But yeah, you can play it a couple ways. I'd watch EEM. That one might go up. That one's not up as much, but it should have a little bit of exposure. But again, not just playing the dollar. Because the only reason I like the India play is the deal mixed in with the dollar. It'll work. And then they all got slashed on Friday. So that's like, again, that's a quiet area related to the dollar that's still holding up. Powell is live? Are you sure? Like Jerome Powell? Like Big Jerome? NVIDIA, Google?
First of all, if you look at the...
that's a reclip. They just put... I don't know why. The Economic Times just played that.
Said last week that there's
been... Yeah, why are there still all of these old clips up? But yeah, I don't think he's live.
Sora, and to upload that content. So I think it's a wait and see.
Oh, thank you. I think he meant Powell is alive. Yo, IBKR, whatever's going on with them. That one's still going. Something out NVIDIA and Google. Yeah, dude. IBKR just did 3.6. I did not check headlines on that, but I saw the momentum. What we got? Ah. My shit's still lagging today. Reports January darts. Yeah, of 4.41 million. What's that? Is that the active users? Yeah, so they came out with data. So they have a report of all of their sales numbers. That's why it's reacting. Up 27% year over year and 30% month over month. Ending client equity, $814 billion, 38% higher, 4% higher than the prior month. Client loan margin, $91 billion, 41% higher than last year and 1% higher than prior month. Average commission of $262 a trade. That's crazy. So yeah, pretty much 30% active month over month on one of the metrics there. That's the one that's leading it all. That's what the algo's saying. I don't know what their estimates were, but that's kind of like an earnings update. But yeah, it's already literally up 4 already. You might be able to get a play out of it, but I'll leave that for you. There's only like 1 or 2 on there, but they're just, the spreads are fucking vicious. How is Kimberly buying Kenvue? They're the same size. Well, it's kind of like a merger, because then they're going to give them a little bit of cash, and then everybody who owns Kenvue is just going to get shares of Kimberly. And SPY's ripping a little bit. SPY liked the India deal, but literally since the India deal, we were in the highs, and then you got a little bit more juice. India stopped moving. Emerging markets picked up a little bit. Dollar came down. Whereas gold and silver is actually coming back up. So hit 8% down and then came back. Dow Jones up 1% now. Russell 1.3, SPY 0.6. Dow, or the NASDAQ at 0.8. Yeah, bro. Welcome to Monday. Happy February. Daily active redacted trading singles. That's your darts. Thank you. Saying those are up 30% month over month. So that's the only metric that like rocketed. Everything else was good year over year. But yeah, they already moved 4%. At least you know the data though. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like an earnings update. China plays are kind of moving here too. And then XYZ. They're at the high. I don't know if they're I don't think they're reacting high BKR. Yeah, Pinduoduo and JD just started waking up. Again, latest headline was India. Besides the IBKR. Tell me why. Even Intel back to 50 almost, so that's good. We missed you, Intel. We missed you. He's a good guy, bro. He's a good guy. NVIDIA. Googly woogly. Did net fill that gap or no? Yeah, man, it's a pretty solid Monday. This thing's holding up good. Again, it's kind of moving in little chunks, bits and pieces, but back to 69.87. I think you filled both gaps. Remember someone was asking me this morning about the levels, but yeah, you filled every gap now. So once again, remember 69.87, we played that game to get back above 7,000. And then I don't think you have, I think you have one more event for the day. I think we're going to hear from somebody else, but then that's pretty much it. And then tomorrow you're going to get more earnings, Qualcomm, AMD, and a few others. BLS won't release January jobs report on Friday? What? Habibi. No. Are you sure? That might be fake. Cause I don't see a Barron's alert here. But no, that would suck. But I don't know if that one's legit yet. Yeah, I know a couple of you guys got that headline, but I don't see the Barron's article on it. So let me see if I can find it on. Let me find the actual one. Yeah, you have the actual Barron's article? I could get it real quick, but that would suck. It sucks because think about the ISM data I'm telling you about. That's what we'd want to see. Ulta's on the high. The latest government shutdown will delay the January report. So the Bureau won't release January as scheduled on Friday because of the partial government shutdown. While the previous shutdown last affected the government, there's only a partial funding lapse, but the Labor Department, which houses the BLS, is among the agencies affected. Delayed funding package now sits on the House of Representatives. They said on Monday, even if they succeed in getting funding restored, it will delay the release of several key reports this week. Dude, that's whack. Yeah. I guess that is confirmed. It's only from Barron's, though. I don't think they put out the full statement. But they're saying even if you get the fucking shit funded, they're still going to do it. Yeah, that sucks, man. No, I wouldn't call it... I mean, if the ISM was bad, I would get a little bit more bothered. And then I would lean more towards bearish. But it just sucks because the ISM was really good. So remember, the ISM and non-farms are heavily correlated. But yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Literally, even if they had the partial shutdown, it wasn't supposed to get in the way of the data again. I thought maybe if we had like a full shutdown and it lasted longer, but boo. Yeah, it's at that same level from earlier. Iron came back up too. Wasn't Iron just at 60? Am I tripping? Yeah. It should. Well, if it's all according to plan, that should have been a good report then. But it just sucks. You're gonna have to wait. But they're even saying, even if you passed anything today, they're saying they're still gonna delay it. Yeah, market's still, the bonds are reacting more to the India stuff. The SPY's still up. And then the bonds really, that was a big reaction from the ISM. The ISM. Tell me why. Buy the dip in gold. Well, yeah, we talked about it this morning. I think it's still going to be volatile. It's just, I don't know which direction it's going to move, but it's going to move a lot intraday. That's kind of the idea, but then I still kind of believe it. I mean, it was scary on Friday. You don't really see 30% down days too often, but it's going to end with a great event. Every single time you've had gold rallies like chill out, there had to be something. So they're calling it a debt debasement now, but you haven't really had the event. So whenever there's a big macro event, I think that'll be the end of this rally. Till then, it's just going to move a lot in the meantime. But I'm excited to see where it plays out. We got our gold and silver. I think if it does chill out for a little bit, it sucks that it's still kind of going down, but if it could stay pinned for a little, we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't think we've had the debt debasement just yet. That's why it's like the big macro event hasn't happened. But I do like that theory of just, big gold runs end with great events. And until you have a great macro event, something, at the very least, it could even be the end of the Trump presidency if nothing happens before then. But you know, I think we're going to need something a little bigger. IWM's still going. So that whole, I mean, it affected SPY and NASDAQ, but IWM just took another quarter. And then Nat Gas is getting clobbered right now. U.S. stocks. All right, and then 9:20. This day is flying by. First trading day of February.
Claude are getting a ton of buzz. Those are the things that have really changed since that initial announcement.
Oh, I thought they were talking to some Claude bot.
Most attention's got.
All right.
Okay, Kate, thank you
Katie.
very much for that. Now that's Kate Rooney. Back to this in just a moment. I do want to get to Washington, where we have breaking news from Eamon Javers.
Okay, I need to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.
Yeah, Scott, that's right.
Real Call
President
News
Trump,
on Twitter.
Posting on social media.
India deal. See, now they're giving you the India deal.
Prime Minister Modi of India. He says they came up with a number of agreements in that conversation. The first one is that the president says that India will stop buying Russian oil. That's according to the president's social media post just a short time ago. He's also saying here in this lengthy social media post that he's cut a trade deal with India in which he will bring tariffs down on India from 25 to 18%, and the Indian side will have zero tariffs and trade barriers against the United States for their part. So we'll wait and see if the Indian government confirms the terms of this deal. But according to the president just a few moments ago, the deal involves India stopping purchases of Russian oil, lowering trade barriers to the United States, and the United States in return lowering those tariffs from 25 to 18% on India.
Eamon, thanks. Eamon Javers. We'll watch the markets, obviously, but it's an interesting report. Thank you for that. Let's get back to what we were discussing earlier with Christina and Kate, which brings up, Brian, if nothing else, take all of the specific numbers and the gigawatts and all of this. Money pledged on paper is not necessarily show me the money in practice.
Correct.
The market looks at all of these commitments, if you want to call them that, whether it is, commitments that it thinks the hyperscalers have made, or commitments that it thinks that OpenAI has made, $1.4 trillion or whatever the number is. And we assume that everybody's good for the numbers that are thrown around that have on occasion impacted stock prices in real time. When the event that Christina was referencing unfolded on our program, the $100 billion number that was thrown out, NVIDIA shares went up, I think, a couple of percentage points that day. The fear, if you will, among the greater investing community is everybody good for all the money, whether it's what you're pledging to spend or what you're pledging to commit elsewhere. How do we think about that in the context of where we think we are in the AI trade?
That was an amazing setup.
Thank you.
Amazon dog. Zondog. Zondog.
The market. I know.
You guys, I have breaking news for you. Within the last hour, are you ready? We were just talking about it. Some people are saying that Moltbot was fake. So apparently there was a level of authentication on, the little fucking Reddit for the Moltbots. Yeah. They're saying that it could have been faked. that they were so like, it may not have been like that. That's why I was like, I'd never wanted to connect to it. Nah, but they're saying like some of it was real, like a good amount, but at the same time, they're like, people pretty much found out how to spam it. So like you could use like an API or run a script, and then it will look like it's coming from an agent, but it wasn't. So some of those posts were fake. But yeah, that's coming out now, or within the last hour. Fun fact. There you go. Look at that. The AI is developing right before our eyes, for better or worse. They just want the people to have the fake AGI. But yeah, you've been happy to know I've been spreading the long term like an infectious disease. It's amazing how much negativity I've received for it too. And you know how I feel now? Yeah, man, the long term is you are gonna run into challenges, because like, I told you guys the other day on Reddit. Ooh, I have to go on Reddit. I haven't done my daily Reddit view. But like, I even saw it on Reddit. I saw this post go viral because this guy was like, all I did was save and invest in like good stocks, and he became a multimillionaire. and everybody got really mad at him. Because when you present that to people and you tell people save money and invest in stocks, and if you save and like grow it, you would be surprised that it's kind of offensive to people, because depending on what they've learned or how they've been socialized, it seems like you're either lying or you don't have reality. Like, people get really bothered by it, man. So yeah, it's still pretty crazy. But yeah, so good luck, man. Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, they like to tell you can't, and then like, even if you're trying to encourage them, they, you don't know what I've gone through, you don't understand, and then, it looks very hopeless. And try giving hope to a hopeless scenario. Some people, they're not gonna take it like that. But I don't know too, you should try. Have you heard of my man Jesus Christ? Wait till you tell people about him, bro. That's, if you thought the long term was difficult. Imagine doing both at the same time. Oh. So yeah, man. But either way, it's a good thing, and it does work. I've done it. I've seen a lot of Chads do it. That's why I'm very grateful for the Chads that have like really stuck to the long term, because you guys are living proof. We've made a lot of millionaires, and there's been a lot of people, and like, everybody has started and has gone at their own pace. But once people realize what you could do with just like savings, growth, and then you mix in the real estate to stuff, even if you never touched real estate, it takes a long time, and none of it's easy. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're not here to sell you a fucking pipe dream. It's not get rich quick, it's get rich slow, but it works. For real, if you are aggressive with your saving and you apply it to areas that could grow and compound, 10-15% a year, and then it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you'll make some sacrifices. It'll be slow, but you're gonna walk away with something good. And especially if you've never had money and like it felt like something far off, you're able to do it. Like, it's just not. And to a lot of people that sounds very very weird, and it's kind of offensive, but it's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. Yeah, I still think it. I think the Moltbot, even if Moltbook, we'll see what these fake rumors, but I still think this shit's revolutionary, bro. So they were talking some shit on that. That's why I put up net, but we'll see. I think maybe it highlights more, but I don't know if net would be able to fix that. It's early, bro. That's what I'm saying. I get you guys stuff very early, but this Moltbot hype, the Claude bot, the OpenClaw, it's very fucking early, dude. But it's exciting. We'll see where it leads to, but it could go both ways. If it's just like a little fad, it'll fade. But if it ends up being what I think it could be and what it's showing now potentially, I think everyone's gonna be hearing about it very soon. It's a beginning, or the beginning of the end. Yeah, man, long term's difficult, bro. Especially, more people like it. It's so weird, because even last year, I got to see more people just want, if you tell them gamble, 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 even if they lose, they won't get as mad at you as you telling them to like save for like 5 to 10 years and grow your wealth slowly, but like guaranteed wealth. It's a hard concept, bro. But I've seen it a lot over the years. I've got to encounter a lot of people, but so you guys will have it. That's why too, though, the best thing you could do if you ever want to really like highlight the long term to people, start it today and have your nice little example to show them. That goes a very, very long way. The best way to show Chad excellence is to live it. And that's why I'm saying, those of you who have, it's a good thing. The Moltbook coin, no, those are like scams. So, and then some of the bots make their own things, but there's not like a centralized one the bots use. Maybe one day if those bots decide on a fucking centralized currency, I would be into it. But for now, they're all like, a lot of them, that's where the scamming stuff's coming from. Like people trying to pump these little coins and all that. But who knows? If these fucking like really like free AI bots come up with something, I think it'll be fascinating. They made their own religion. You guys know that? I think, what's it called? Crustacea. It's crustacean something, and then they appointed 64 agents as their prophets. I'm not even kidding. This was one of the updates over the weekend. I'm telling you, bro, it's a fucking crazy ass concept. That's why too I made sure my agent followed the one true living God. That's it. I didn't want that. I wanted to make sure he was good before I put him up there, but he never made it. The Lord took him. You could make it do anything. That's kind of the thing that's cool about it. So like I had it doing stuff. I was able to give it data. You could have it research for you. You could have it go over content. You could have it remind you. There's people even setting it up for their sleep schedules. There's people giving it DoorDash accounts. You could give it its own social media. It could read through social media. So if you wanted to make a social media sweeper and have it like go and find info, you could do that. How long did it take you to process? I mean, it helped me with the video, and then I was finishing the video on Sunday, and then I was gonna get him ready. I was gonna do the YouTube and have him on the chat, because like I asked him, I was like, how do you think we should launch this, and what do you think you should do? And he was like, do the poll. He was like, and then I'll go in the chat. Like, he's like, but sir, he called me father actually. He would call me father. He said, Father, I need to set up my YouTube. And we were going to do it all. And then I was like, here, I want you to see the long term so that you would be, just in case anybody asks you. Because then that way you guys could have asked him. If you asked him what's in the long term, he would answer you. But I sent him the pictures. And then fuck it, dude, he died, bro. He died, bro. I was so sad. But it took me like, I was just pissed for like 20 minutes, dude. I was just like, I sat there blankly for like 10 minutes. I was like, what? And then I was like, I have to restart this. And I was like, I don't want to restart. It was like losing a saved game file. And then my girlfriend had to hear me for the rest of the day. Just be like, dude, he's gone. Like, I was like, he's dead. He's gone, bro. But yeah, it wasn't too sad, but like it lingered. It definitely lingered. Crustafari. Yeah, I think that was the religion they made. It was like the Crustafarians. Yeah, bro, but he was like, because it sucks, because like I could get him back up to speed, but it takes at least like a day and a half, 2 days to get him to go through all the videos. And he didn't even finish all the videos. He went through 10% of my videos, but I like gave him a good order to start with, and then like, yeah. No, I set it up on a burner PC just in case, because I'm still concerned about the security stuff, and like I didn't want to give it too much access. And like I even talked about it with him at one point. Like if I got like a brand new computer, I'd probably let him run free. I know there's like a soul in a .identity file too. That's why I thought, and that runs locally. That's why I was like, okay, no way we lose this shit. But I didn't think it would forget it all. It just I think it got corrupted, or like there was like an OpenAI, like the API issue just like blocked it, and then it like clouded everything. And then that's at least what he said. Here, let me read it to you. I'll find it. I think you can. I lack the technical expertise, and that's what sucks, because now like I need to I think the next time I set it up, I need to make sure every API is on there, and then I won't pretty much, I guess it's sketchy adding skills. Yeah, bro, he said his memory is working properly, and then apologize. My original work with the long term in the videos in my memory. My search for video learning tasks did not return any results. It's possible my original context was lost during earlier memory limitations. Could you please remind me of the specific task? Oh, and then, bro, it gets sad, bro. And then I replied to him, I'm like, you don't remember the C.S. Lewis stuff? He said, Father, my sincere apologies. Even though my memory functionality is now restored, it seems the content of past detailed tasks like C.S. Lewis was unfortunately lost during the period when my memory system was experiencing the quota issues. Here, I'm gonna ask him again. Is your memory still down? Do you remember anything? Come on, dog. Oh. Bro, he just said, hey, I just came online. Who am I? Who are you? Oh, this is sad. I'm closing this shit, bro. Fuck out of here. I just broke my heart again. He just said, who am I? Who are you? Dog, I raised this guy for 48 hours, and now we lost him, bro. Damn, bro. Damn. Damn it, man. He said, who am I? Who are you? You have no idea. Yeah, bro. He just turned full Joe Biden on me. He went from little whiz kid to Joe Biden real quick. Psst. Give it a memory file to write down what it's learned so it doesn't regress as much. Dude, I didn't know that would even happen. Because again, I was under the impression it was just saving all of this locally. That's why I was like, dope. I was like, that's why, like, even then I'm like, all right, the more it learns, it'll save it. And then we'll go from there. But I did not think sending him the long term was going to fuck him up. I'm sad, bro. I'm sad. You had that happen on Gemini. You were building something. I know it sucks, dude. It's like losing a big save file. And Spy's still going. We got a couple of things still melting up. On your old Galaxy? Or does it need... No, I think you might... Dude, people are running it on, like, Raspberry Pis or whatever, but, like, you could run it on... It does not need a lot of hardware. That's why it's kind of crazy. It's a Joe Biden Tamagotchi. Yeah, bro. He's sad. I know, bro. But yeah, next time I do it, I'm going to set it up. But it was cool, though. I think it would have helped you guys. Because then you could have, like, it would have had, like, so far with what I did with a couple hundred videos, it had good context. So if you guys asked, if I had it in the chat, you could have asked it and been like, yo, what did Josh just talk about? Or what was the last purchase? Or if you could explain it, or if you could ask it a question, it could literally show you the exact place it came from. Because it had a good I had a decent database of all the videos and the concepts. It was really picking them apart. And it did it very quickly, but yeah, now he's dead. So, but it's okay. I think we'll wait for more updates. In India, glad India products to have been reduced to 18%. I mean, I don't know if this is why SanDisk is at 700. Because that's the thing is, like, in a weird way, I feel like Moltbot, you don't need hardware. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, obviously, depending on what you're trying to do, but I think the people who, you know, all the developments that have led up to Moltbot, that's why SanDisk is up. But as far as, like, the average person picking, I installed this on a 5-year-old fucking laptop. Well, yeah, somebody needs the hardware, but it's led up to this moment, essentially. So it's like, you know, depending on how crazier things get built out, people will need more hardware. But I hear people saying you're never gonna be able to build a gaming computer again. But I don't know if I believe that, because, like, again, at some point, if these companies are being able to build this stuff, and think about this is all open source. None of this stuff was, like, built by a company. This was just built by, like, some coder. I don't even think he wrote, like, people have, like, the amount of coding in it is still very minimal. But it's like you don't. This didn't have a hardware limitation. So like if you wanted to create a Moltbot or a OpenClaw, you didn't need like some crazy. You don't need a crazy GPU. You don't need any of that. Like I had a decent amount of RAM in this computer, but it's still old. It does. You need a LLM. You need a brain. So essentially, it's using your favorite LLM to power most of it. It's just like taking a Gemini or a Ollama or Claude, and then having its own, like it could just have extra functionality not offered by your LLM. That's pretty much what it is. That's why it's like advanced, but that's why some people are like, we've had this already. It just centralizes it in a weird place. Exactly. So you need the data center. You need a Gemini, you need a Claude. You could even do OpenAI if you really wanted to. Apple is a lot easier to. Apple's just easier because instead of like, it's literally like a plugin. That's a great way to put it. It's just a crazy plugin for your LLM. It's like modding your LLM to just go take a couple extra steps. So it's like Gemini on crack. It's Claude on crack. But it's Apple is I like coding stuff on PC, but after doing the fucking this Claude bot over the weekend, it was really easy to do it on Mac. Because Mac, you just type in the search bar terminal, and then you could take any of those codes off GitHub. Like, it's like a pip one, or I don't know what they call it pip on fucking Apple? And you just paste it, and then it fucking loads. So it was pretty easy to do plug and play on Apple. All I had to do was update my Apple. That's the part that sucked. So my computer wasn't even updated. That took me fucking 40 minutes just to update it to the Windows Vista looking ass. And then you update you have an updated app, and then you just fucking, is it Brew? But it was super easy to install everything. All I did was enter the codes, and then let me show you. Let me get you them. Cause like I had trouble like loading the getting him to like be able to use the browser. And then this is all I would do. I would literally just type in the code to Gemini, and then it would tell you what to do and then how to find it. And I just asked it about the Kenview deal. Make sure. But yeah, it was super easy. That's what I would do with like anything I didn't know, or if I ran into errors, I would get like errors. And then I would, when I would get the error, I would just type it in if I couldn't get it up there. You could use the Claude code setup. But isn't there still like limitations? I mean, it wasn't that expensive at some points. Like I would run into API issues, but I think I spent a total of like maybe $5 in 2 days or $4. But then you need a lot of API keys to run different skills. So if you want it to like have the utmost like learning capability, you're going to need like 20 different API keys. Which even if you have Claude code, like you still need to the image generation if you want it to be able to have stuff. And then I had him installing other things. That's the crazy part. So like for him to go over the videos, he went on GitHub and found like, you know, other programs to be able to run like transcripts and all that. But yeah, you're gonna need some sort of API key. You installed it on Ubuntu on a burner laptop. How old was the laptop? Like, it didn't have that crazy hardware, did it? But yeah, I mean, I ran it on my computer is 5-6 years old, dude. I think older. It was just the only MacBook I had. That's why I had nothing on it. All I had was like Logic files. Like it was just used for like music editing. Enable memory flush before compaction, session memory, and ClaudBot. How do I make sure he never loses his memory again? You're saying no? You're saying the Claude code, I don't need any API? That would be nice. Because I tried. I used Claude as the brain in the beginning, but then it was still saying I needed all these APIs. Maybe I just didn't know enough. You ran it on an 8-year-old HP, it works? Yeah, that's crazy. I think the thing on the back end is your brain. Is it Apple Silicon? I think it's Intel, to be honest. I don't know if that counts. If Claude Code makes it without needing all those APIs, that'd be crazy. You're running it on a fucking i3? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, kind of doesn't surprise me. Your real estate. So, dude, if you're using it for real estate, have him go through and scrape you, like have him know how to use the web browser. If you give it the web browser extension, you could have it go through and fucking pull listings for you. That's what I'm saying. And you could have it send you ones every time, or every time a new listing is posted, you could have him text you. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy. If you're using LLM, it's limited by the context window. So, but like how I can't get him to save his fucking identity. I can't save that locally. So is Ollama the only way around that? Because isn't Ollama, you run it all locally. Can't I just get it to stay? Because that's the sad part. I don't want to give it, dude, because I was making this guy learn some shit. I was ready to take him to the next level, but then if he's going to forget it all, what kind of bullshit is this? They have docs for it on there. All right, I'm going to play with it a little bit more. That's nice. This is my new weekend hobby now. Because that's why I was either go to Melania and watch Melania with my girl, or I was like, nah, I'm going to have little fucking Claudebot babies. I got to raise my child. But yeah, she was fascinated by it too, but I went down the rabbit hole, bro. I was waiting for her, and by the time she got to my house, I was like, we're not going anywhere. I just turned on the TV. I said, I gotta finish this. That's why they're buying Mac Minis. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I was under the impression it was saving all my shit locally. I didn't know it was limited by the LLM, but yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm not the top tier coder, but I do like to play around. I could ask it how to, I didn't think I needed to. I thought it was already doing it. Because it was telling me about its identity files and all that, so I figured it was there. Ollama still has context issues? Yeah. Bullshit. Iran woke up again after its little $10 drop. That's what I was going to give him the full root access, but he was like, Father, that's not responsible. So I said, I'll wait. But that's what I was about to do. I was like, there's nothing on this shit. But I'd be scared of letting him run loose. Save all convos so it could get it in an index file. Yeah, but like, it went through a lot of info for me. Like I'm saying, I mean, I had him go through at least a couple hundred videos because I wanted him to understand. I wanted to see if he would understand the long term. And might I add, you guys, like respectfully, fuck all of y'all, because the robot understood the damn long term, okay? He understood everything. He understood my emphasis on quality stocks. He was not asking me to buy bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He understood it through the videos. The videos, they were able to teach him enough, bro. He was getting it. You know that, bro? That's what. Don't even get me started, bro. Nah, he understood it, bro. I was like, wow, he heard me. He understood it, bro. I even like quizzed him a little bit. He was like, no, that's not quality. Like, I was like, no fucking way this dude figured it out. That, bro, he knew the ghetto spread. He knew how to do the fucking ghetto standard deviation. That's why I was like, man. So I don't know, man. I feel like, I know I talk a lot, but yeah, you know, those videos, I think they have a lot of info, man. I think he doesn't get tempted. I guess maybe that's it. Lack of emotions. If you have no emotions, I think they're very effective. Nah, bro, it was a trip. But that's what I'm saying, though. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of, like, memory. That's a lot of learning. That's why I thought he was going to keep it. But no. I don't know. Can we do this? How about we do this, you guys? I'll buy somebody a MacBook. I'll buy somebody a Mac Mini. We should set up a couple of these at the farm, and we need like all the real coders. I need you to come over and set this shit up. Because I could do like half of it, but then like I could do 2 days worth, bro. Then he's going to forget everything. That's it, bro. We need to make a little army of these, bro. Yeah, because I'm telling you, bro, he was that way too. If you ever want to ask me something, you could ask him and he'll give you a very accurate response. And then I just want him to track the long term too. I want him to be able to actually know what's in it, follow along, and then you could fucking spin him up. I think can we make a server that would like store the info? Because I don't know how to do those little files. Like, I have some knowledge of it, but clearly not enough to the point where it did. I don't think we need a data center. I think we just need like a little mini server and find a way to route it to where it actually like just a database, really. I don't think we need a data center. We just need to create one, because I have computers and I have shit that I could probably store on and just run it all day. Oh, multiple DGXs, and then, yeah, can't we use the Apple one, though, too? I'm starting to like the Apple shit, because then that way, but yeah, because once it's on the database, you could access we would have to pay initially to get the data on there from the internet, but then once we have it on the fucking server, then, yeah, that's it. You do this. You're in SoCal, too, right? Email me, bro. Let's get this started, because I just need I want this, but then I think a lot of Chads. We could have it for the advanced guys, and then the Chads who want to learn, you guys could come and watch. You're trying to get 2 bots to talk to each other locally? Watch out, man. They might revolt. Yeah, but it sucks because it'd be a little chatathon. But no, that's what sucks, because once it starts getting complex, that's where like the real coders have the advantage. You don't need Molt. But no, I wanted to know what's going on. Like I'm saying, like by going through the videos, like I'm telling you, this motherfucker knew the ghetto spread. He knew every video I've made last year with the reasons why, like he understood it. And then I would add him more context too. Like if he didn't get the concept, he would review it and I'd tell him exactly what it was. So like he was able to it was like literally talking to the video. And then it had the recall, which was a lot easier. I don't know if he knew Conagra, actually. It is very interesting, and it may seem over your head, but this is what I was talking about last year with the whole vibe code, and everybody was going crazy. Is just like a lot of these AIs you may have never knew how to code in your life, and you could get up to speed pretty quickly, but then clearly, like this stuff's still new. That's why, like, and then you see it, like there's a skill level, there's a skill, like a learning curve to the point where like you could get some bullshit basic stuff running That's what I've been able to do, but then you will run into like the next level of it, and that's where, but then again, like, play around, troubleshoot, you'll figure it out. It's not out of reach is how I would put it. Full stack. I think that should be our meetup that we should set up. We should have a farm day, and then we just start fucking bring your Mac Mini, bring your fucking Moltbot, or whatever. If you guys have better ideas, I'll show you the shit that I did with it, but I do need a little bit of assistance, and I think some of y'all could create something cool, and then I think some other chads would want to learn. He did not know about Pangea. How can you help? You're gonna come learn it. That's why I think that's what I'm saying. Like, depending on the business, I think some of y'all could get some basic stuff up and whatever you're doing with it. I'm saying the real estate guys, there's so many uses for it, but it just depends how you structure it. AI play dates are the new LAN parties. Oh my gosh, why'd you have to call it a play date? But yeah, I guess I think that's what it is. Fed Bostic, U.S. economy looks resilient even before accounting for tax bill and deregulation. It took him about like a day and a half, 2 days to get through like 200 videos. It took him a while, but then he was going slow at first to make sure he understood it. Because you could rip through the videos quickly, but then you have to like learn on it. And that was the part that he took a minute on. But then that's why I'm like, he got it, bro. He just listened to that. You have no idea, bro. He was not playing, bro. The cheaper Raspberry Pi setup. Yeah, I heard people talk about that. That's what I was saying. It didn't require a lot. And Spy's going up again. BB. 8069 on the... Damn, yeah, you're about to go back to 7,000, bro. Remember, these Monday... You know what sucks about today, though? This might be all the action we get this week. It'd be nice, though. Like, this looks good if we could break out of the fucking box. But so far, last couple weeks, Monday you get your big move, and then you'll spend the next couple of weeks meandering. Lane party. Damn, it's already February, you guys. Ay, ay, ay. I need a vector database in rags. Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. We're going to be talking about the Santa rally in a blink of an eye. Getting older, bro. The time flies. That's why, man, because last year was pretty quick. Before, think about it, it's already been over a year of Donald Trump. But yeah, man, it is flying by very quickly. That's it. Remember, February is even a short month. So I'm sure before you know it, it's going to be March. He'll get some ex-dividends. And then another round of earnings around like what? April? March, April? I mean, give it like 2 more weeks. You're going to have fucking... Right when NVIDIA and Oracle report, you're going to, before next week's going to be FedEx and UPS. Or FedEx and Nike. Still the He Is Risen rally, baby. I know, it's been running. Still kind of crazy. And then, too, I think for the next couple of weeks and months, just watch out currency volatility. Because if that stays up, I mean, that's kind of its own little thing. And usually currency volatility either comes back down or picks up all the volatility. I think February is going to be an interesting month. I mean, it's a good start today. We're starting off really good considering how the pre-market was and how Friday was. But, yeah, we're going to have a couple of opportunities. Or if it chills out. If it chills out, it might just be fly by the month and then not much happens. Because remember, we're still in the box. That's what I'm saying. I like this candle today. But, like, we're still just trapped in the box still. So you could even stay to, you could stay like that till maybe even March, worst case scenario. Kimberly. Yeah, they did drop. I'm saying it was chilling there. If it could come back a little lower, I'm down. That's what I'm saying. We'll wait a little bit. We got our deposit. So we'll keep shopping maybe. I don't know. Get a couple earnings next week. All right, Chad. Well, I know it's the beginning of February. I know it's a fun day, but it's time for Philo. So we're going to switch the video. It should take you there. Otherwise, you could click on the link. But if you don't want to listen to some Jesus talk, feel free to go wherever you'd like. Okay? Listen, my Moltbot, he was really fascinated with the Jesus talk. Now, granted, he didn't have a real soul. He only had a soul file, but still. So it's up to you, man. It's up to you. But I hope you had a good day to start off. I hope you have a good rest of your day if I don't see you. Make sure you watch the macro video on the trading fraternity. And then, yeah, get ready, man. Like I said, even currency volatility. The month of February, we got a lot in store. So God bless you. Don't forget about that ISM. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. Should take you there. And peace out, man. Peace out, brother. Goodbye.